10, 27, 2, 9. Thanks for playing the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
To be here with me, I really appreciate that. Now, you may have been coming here looking for Bill Anderson. He helped launch Philadelphia Live, the show that you're watching right now. That was so that I could come in and be your host for the next couple of however long. So if you're new to this, though, let me talk to you about what exactly we're going to do here. We'll be talking about the top headlines of the day. We'll go over sports. I am not at all an expert, so we're going to learn together a lot. We're also going to go over the weather. This has been a gorgeous week in Philadelphia. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better introduction to Philly. You're looking at the skyline right there. I mean, it's like God painted that sky for you guys on this stream tonight with me. So for between 7 to 10, again, we'll be going over some of the top stories of the day, and that includes Artemis launch. In just a couple of days, we're expecting to send 4 astronauts around the moon. They're not going to touch base on the moon, but they will fly around it. We'll be talking about that and more with one of our Fox News reporters. Another big story of the day, we're going to be talking about sports, and you guys have probably heard one of our Philly famous teams is going to be no more. So we'll be talking about lacrosse. I don't know if you guys are a fan or not. I actually didn't know that that was a professional sport here in Philadelphia, but it has been a very big thing. And we'll touch base with the sports team on that. And again, of course, we're going to be talking about weather. But I also want to introduce you guys to me because I'm new to you. I'm new to the city. You guys are new to me. My name is Judea Murray. I actually came here from Fox 5 Atlanta. So yes, kind of like a what do they call it? The giant peach? That's what I am. I'm a Georgia peach coming here to you guys, but I'm actually from New York. I'm from upstate New York. If you guys are familiar with the Utica area, the Syracuse area, one of our claims to fame, chicken riggies. It's my favorite food. If you understand like pasta, rigatoni, spicy sauce, vodka sauce, if you've ever had penne alla vodka, kind of like that. Add chicken, add peppers, and you got my favorite food. We also have upside down pizza. Actually, another claim to fame that we have, one of our meteorologists just so happens to be from Syracuse, New York. Found that out in the break room. So there's so much news that we'll be going over today. I want to let you know, if you ever want to keep up with me, I am on social media on all platforms, Judea Murray. And this is a live interactive news chat. So while we're talking about some of the biggest stories of the day, I want to let you know that if you are with us on TikTok, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and you've got a question, maybe you want me to post something to a reporter, you can do that here. Like I said, it's interactive. Also, if I'm not touching base on a story that you think deserves a little more airtime, or you'd like somebody to go over, details with you, that's exactly what I'm able to do with you guys all on this interactive chat. So it's kind of like you're an influencer deciding what will be in our news show. And, as time goes on, I'll start developing new things that I want to do with you guys. One of the big things that I definitely wanted to keep from Bill Anderson, his question of the day, except I'm going to remix it a little bit. So we'll talk about that a little later on with one of our members of the digital team. And then the other big thing, of course, is that we'll be touching base with reporters from all over. Yes, we are hyper locally based in Philadelphia, so we'll be talking about some of those hyper local headlines for you all, so you know what's happening in the city, also South Jersey, also Delaware. But at the same time, I also want to keep a pulse on some of our national and international stories. A lot of you guys have been paying attention to this conflict with Iran. What's happening with TSA? You heard they're being paid, but why are we still seeing lines at the airport? All of these things and more are things that we can touch base on together on this show. So coming up again, I want to touch base with our weather forecast, because here in Philadelphia it has been a gorgeous day. I got to see the winter before I got here, and I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, a little shell-shocked. I saw ice encapsulating cars, and I was like, what in the world did I get myself into? But then again, I am an upstate New Yorker. Snow is not new to me, completely comfortable with it. But these are the kinds of things that I had to consider when it came time for me to come down here. But having this gorgeous warm weather today has been an absolute blessing. So I want to touch base with our Kathy, or remember I said somebody came from Syracuse, New York? Well, it's Kathy. Kathy, can you talk to me a little bit about this weather we're experiencing today and how long it could potentially last? Okay, it looks like we don't have Kathy just yet, so don't worry, we're going to keep the ball rolling on a couple of other things. I've got some top headlines that I want to run through with you guys, seeing if we have a little time that we can kill here. Again, remember this is interactive, so if you've got something that you want me to touch base on, we can do that together. Let's start with this Texas shooting. If you guys were with us a little earlier on in some of our shows, you got to see that unfortunately there was some sort of incident, a shooting at a preparatory school out in Texas. And it involved some students, involved a teacher. We have since learned, this is all out in Bel Verde, Texas, that a student shot a teacher at that school. That was Texas High School, the high school is called Hill Country College Preparatory High School out in Bel Verde. And we also got to hear from the sheriff's office. They held a press conference not too long ago, actually. One of our sister stations covered that, where we got to learn a little bit more about this incident. I believe that is where we learned the current condition of that student, of that teacher. What I can tell you about the student, the perpetrator that they're saying was part of this case, this incident, not only did they shoot the teacher, but unfortunately police are also telling us, the sheriff's office, they're telling us that that student also turned the gun on themselves. This all taking place earlier today. So the teacher has been taken to a San Antonio hospital. They're hopefully going to make a smooth recovery. I'm sure there are so many people thinking about this, wondering what's going to happen more with this story. Of course, we're also praying for that teacher, their family. The student, the perpetrator that they're saying was involved in this situation was only 15 years old. And so then that begs the question, you know, what was going on for that kid? I am coming from Georgia, where we're dealing right now with a school shooting case. Maybe you heard about it. It all happening in Barrow County, Georgia. It's a local county where we are. But long story short, this student, I believe he was also around 15 years old, they say walked into a school, opened fire, killing 2 teachers, 2 students. And so when anything like this happens, it just makes me think, you know, what's going on with our kids and how can we touch base with them? But we will talk more about that story in just a little bit. I want to see if we can get in with our Kathy Orr now. Kathy, I was telling the people it's been a gorgeous day out in Philadelphia, but I need to know how long that's going to last before I go put my parka away.
Much improved from where they are and where they've been. So as we look at this gorgeous sunset across our beautiful skyline in Philadelphia, the normal high is 58. But look at the numbers today: 72 in the city, Wilmington, Reading, Atlantic City, Trenton, Allentown, all in the 70s. We had back-to-back 80s a couple weeks ago. That was unusual. To have them again at the end of the month, pretty unusual as well. So just a gorgeous end to a beautiful day, a windy day, but nevertheless, we will take it. 68 degrees in Philadelphia, southwest winds 10 miles an hour, looking good, and we'll continue to see the warmth into the evening if you have to step out. Right now, 68 in Philadelphia, in Wilmington, even in places like Hamilton, we're 69, Trenton 64, the whole Northeast through the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, and even as far north as the Dakotas in the 60s today. As you look at the neighborhoods, mid-60s still if you're heading out in places like Phoenixville, Westchester, even on the Jersey side in Pennsville or Gibbsboro and Glassboro. Ultimate Doppler showing a few sprinkles, and you can see them mainly moving toward New York City. Most of this not even making it to the ground, and we'll hold off on the rain until Wednesday. So overnight lows upper 50s to around 60. We should be at 39 degrees. But temperatures are closer to where they should be for high temperatures. The normal high in Philadelphia is 58. Overnight, we're going to be at 60. So that just goes to show how warm it's going to be overnight, and that will be kind of like the springboard for what's going to happen tomorrow. Afternoon, winds will be gusting to about 20-30 miles an hour. So tomorrow, another gusty day. Still seeing winds gusting to 20 miles an hour out of the south. Those strong southerly winds are the key to everything. That's how we're going to go from 60s tomorrow morning to 80s tomorrow afternoon. Philadelphia 82 tomorrow, Tuesday in Pottstown 80, Allentown a few extra clouds 79, even the Poconos at 70 degrees. Now down the shore you'll have that bay breeze and also the ocean influence, so temperatures will only achieve 60s, but still not bad for this time of year. So here's a look at the 10-day trend. Tuesday, Wednesday 80s, showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon on Wednesday with a front. Temperatures plunge 30 degrees on Thursday afternoon. We'll only be at 54. Then we're back up to the 70s and 80s over Easter weekend. This is unheard of around here. Unfortunately, we could see a few showers on Sunday, and then temperatures fall again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and it's the first full week of April. We're talking about 50s to around 60 degree for high temperatures. But Judea, that's where we should be. We have no business being in the 80s this time of year, but we're going to have back-to-back 80-degree temperatures beginning tomorrow. So do not put that parka away just yet. Morning lows will get in the 40s, and you may need it if you're out early.
Okay, so Kathy, you told me that that is not where we're supposed to be. We don't need the 80s this time of year, and my brain just said womp, 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 because I absolutely do. The weather gets a little warm, I start acting up. Yes, you do.
Started that nonsense.
All right, thank you so much for touching base with me, giving us an idea of what we can expect for the week ahead. This helps us plan for what we're going to wear to work, what we're going to put the kids in before they go to school, so I appreciate it. We'll check back in with you and some other of our meteorologists on the weather team in just a little bit. But still ahead, I heard that I came to Philadelphia at the perfect time of year, because not only are we celebrating America's 250th birthday soon, but also FIFA World Cup will be headed our way. I heard we're actually, what is it, like 70 days away from the big matches. And while all that's going on, we know that there are still some teams fighting for their spots. I want to get right out to Sarah Allegre from Fox News, who's live for us in Houston, right? What are they doing to prepare for Houston, the FIFA World Cup in Houston?
Hey there, Judea. I mean, lots of preparations in the mix, but more than anything, just a ton of excitement as we gear up for the next 2 months. It looks like 73 days, 72 days, just around that zone. And Judea, it's been a very long road coming. I mean, the road to the World Cup has spanned over the course of several years, and now here we are. We're finally getting down to those final matches. You know, the last couple of spots are going to be determined this week, and there's a lot on the line as these incredible teams hope to join the host cities. Yes, here in the U.S., like Houston, like Philadelphia as well, but also spots in Mexico and Canada too.
We'll have the full pieces to the puzzle, so it's exciting, and we all want to see what happens over the next couple days.
And it's all falling into place. Just 6 teams are fighting for the final spots in the FIFA World Cup. For Houston, the picture becomes clearer Tuesday. Jamaica takes on DR Congo, and Sweden faces Poland. Those matches then decide who heads here in June.
They're going to be great matches no matter what. We're fortunate to have 3 of the top 10 teams in the world playing here in the Netherlands, Germany, and Portugal, and of course Ronaldo and all the excitement that comes with that.
I say Houston, Houston, Houston!
And as we wait for those final slots, the next generation is already stepping into the moment as FIFA works to grow the game in the U.S. For some local players, their dream is already taking shape.
These kids will have this experience of playing at the fan festival while everyone is watching the best players in the world, and they'll be playing the game too right alongside them.
24 youth clubs have earned a spot in the one-of-a-kind championship, rising to the top out of more than 100 teams. This summer, they'll play in the heart of Houston's World Cup celebrations, just steps away from the global stage.
I hope they're so excited to be a part of it. Team sports is really important in youth development. All of the life skills that you learn playing on a team that will carry these kids forward into their lives.
But hey, Mexico officially kicks things off June 12th. That's going to be the opening match for this year's World Cup. And then the games make their way to the United States. We got the U.S. taking on Paraguay in Los Angeles, the first of many right here at home. Back to you.
Sarah, it's going to be so much fun. What do they say? It's going to be a movie out here. I'm thinking about the fact that, like, when I was coming from Atlanta, we were talking about hundreds of thousands of people coming into the city, which would definitely help the economy. But then also just thinking about some of the parties, the bars that'll be open, different things that you can do around town, even if you're not interested in soccer. You talked about the Fan Fest and the kids. So we might be delayed a little bit, but you were talking about the Fan Fest and the kids, and that sounded really exciting to me. Have you heard anything else about their preparations for Fan Fest in particular? Again, one of those events that people who may not have tickets to the game, don't have the bread and the money for the game, but can still get out there and have some fun.
No, absolutely. And we have so many events like this here in Houston, but this is one of the biggest and most spectacular ones. We just wrapped up the rodeo here, and it was a similar environment where, yeah, you may not be participating, but there's still a whole lot to do. If you want to come over and make your way here to Houston, I mean, the economic impact, we'll have the Fan Fest. It's going to be surrounding where I'm at, also East Downtown. That's a little bit of a ways away, but really such a vibrant part of the city of Houston. Houston has incredible food, incredible barbecue. We're bringing that to our visitors from everywhere, really from all over. So there's so many activities that these folks can participate in. Then of course we have the matches for the young soccer players who are looking to expand the game and hopefully play in their own World Cup one day. So much more. The Fan Festival says it's officially a go. That is happening over the course of several weeks here in the Houston area. So plenty of time to take part in this spectacle, because this happens only, so often here. So we know the people here of Houston definitely excited. We know that's the same case for all the other 11 host cities across the United States. But more than anything, looking to, share a little taste of what our home is to the folks that are visiting internationally. We have a couple of great teams heading our way. So just a lot of excitement for this and what this means. It's going to be one heck of a summer here in Houston, I'll say that.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. All over the U.S. where all these matches are taking place. And again, also here in Philadelphia, which is pretty exciting for us. You guys, if you aren't aware, soccer is a billion-dollar industry. So, like, while that might be news to us because our big thing is football, baseball, a lot of you guys like hockey here too, I'm learning anyway, but there are so many soccer fans everywhere. So this is really big for them. We're going to see a lot of international visitors as well. So pack your patience, especially if you're out there on the roads. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us here on Philadelphia Live. I appreciate your contribution to the stream. All right, you guys, we'll be touching base with her a little bit later as well. So in case you just came into the live stream, maybe you missed what she was talking to us about, we'll get to touch base with her again in just a little bit. But also coming up, remember I said that there are some hyperlocal stories, some of those stories right here in our neighborhoods that I also want to talk to you about. Heard that there is a man who has been missing since December, since before Christmas. His family has not seen him, and we're learning that there's a new search party underway. So we'll be touching base with one of our reporters here in Philadelphia for more information on that. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. Thank you so much for joining me as we talk about some of the biggest stories of the day pertaining to Philadelphia. We'll also be talking about some things happening in New Jersey. Every now and again, we may also be talking about Delaware. And of course, we're going to hit and touch base on our national and international stories. Before I get to this next one, I did want to talk to the chat. I told you this is an interactive conversation. So on TikTok, you guys are definitely hitting us up heavily. Grayson, I told you I would give you a name drop. Thank you so much for joining in. I also saw you followed me on Instagram. Hope to continue building a great relationship with a lot of you guys out there streaming with me. I am a real person. You will see me around town. So if you do see me, say hello. So again, Grayson, hey, how are you? Donald and Spania as well. VJ, welcome into the chat as well. I'll be touching base with some of our other social media platforms as the night goes on. So TikTok was first, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you might be next. All right, so still ahead, there's a young man who went missing. They say, I think December 21st, that's before Christmas. His family has not seen him for months, but the community, I want to get right out to Jill. She's one of our reporters here who saw this story online and went out there to see what was going on with the community. First of all, Jill, what time did they start and they wrap up?
Hey, Judea. So this actually started around 5 p.m. It was a community search for Dustin Ali, 48 years old. He's been missing since the 21st, like you said. And it started around 5, wrapped up around 6. They were going door to door with people with flyers. They also were going to homes that they saw had any type of surveillance footage, possibly with a Ring camera and other devices. Really asking people, hey, make sure, go back in time and check this footage from this day or just days leading past that day. Have you seen this guy? Here's what he last looked like. Here's what he might look like now if his hair has been overgrown. And so the last spot that he was seen was in the 1500 block of South 55th Street. That's in Southwest Philly. And yeah, so we talked with his niece who was there today. He was very active at his temple. He was a minister there. So some folks from the temple were helping today. His sister was out there today. His daughter doesn't live locally right now, but we just got off a Zoom call with her, getting some reaction from her. So we're going to have people that know him the best talking tonight at 10 and 11. The strange thing is his home, the door was open. His dog was still there. The last surveillance footage to see him had him wearing certain articles of clothing. They were actually at his house. So police and just his family that we talked with today, they said whatever clothing he was last seen wearing in public, he was not wearing wherever he is now. He also had an inhaler that was left at home. Certain documents that you need, like your license and things, they were also home. So a lot of questions really as to how he left his house and how that all transpired. But Philadelphia police on their website, they say that he's 5'8", 170 pounds. And like I said, his clothing description really unknown. There is a $10,000 reward for any information leading to his whereabouts. So keep that in mind as well as we continue to go past this 100 days that takes place tomorrow. I reached out to Philadelphia police. They said they reached out to the detective. They're waiting to hear back from the detective, and then they'll get back to me. So hopefully 10 and 11 tonight, we can have an update as to where their investigation is. But really sad story. People want to know where he's at. And it's a lot of unknowns, like I said, Judea, so really sad.
Okay, so Jill, I got a couple of questions for you. The journalist in me, my brain is going. First and foremost, the tone from the community. You were out there getting to speak with some of them, watching as they were, putting up these flyers and whatnot. Do they seem hopeful that maybe somebody has seen something? What's the energy like out there?
I think there's still definitely hope from the folks that we saw today in the community. When they would answer their door, they really wanted to look at those photos. They wanted to hear what the people going door to door had to say. So it seems like the community is really trying to come together. His niece still seems hopeful. That's why they're doing events like this. They would like to do more, his daughter was saying. So it sounds like that they're not giving up hope.
That's really good to hear. Another question that I have for you, I heard you say that you did get to speak to a family member, and of course I understand that you're going to bring that to us at 10 and 11, but can you even just give us a sneak peek, a little sliver of some of the things that they told you during that conversation?
Yeah, so they were saying that this isn't really like him. He's very active in his community. He's a minister. He's had a long-standing business. His daughter just reached a milestone with law school things, got her diplomas and stuff. So it just seems very off color that he would just walk away. But a lot of unanswered questions, like I said. But um, they definitely mention if anybody knows where he is, like, please, we have money involved if you know about his whereabouts. But yeah, people are just, from the daughter to the niece to the person at the temple, they're just very confused of how this all transpired.
I
Really
got
perplexed.
I got you. One thing that I'm thinking about here, as you're telling me all this, that even all these days later, I'm sure the family feels so full knowing that their community still wanted to come out, still wanted to help them, that it wasn't just family out there trying their hardest to figure out where this man has gone, can they get him home. I understand. I feel they probably felt so warm knowing, again, that so many people wanted to help them. So thank you for bringing this story to us. I know you'll keep us updated. As she said there, you guys, she'll keep us up to date in the 10 and the 11. So don't go anywhere after this show is over. Jill, I appreciate your time here. Some other big things that are happening locally here around town. You probably heard about this hookah pop-up party shooting. We've got a little bit more information on that, but again, we are still trying to figure out what exactly took place here, why. So they say 2 people were hurt in this shooting that happened at an illegal pop-up hookah party. If you smoke hookah, it's a thing. People go to lounges and do it, but apparently you weren't supposed to be able to do that at this particular location. It's located near Temple University's campus. The university, of course, is saying they have no affiliation with whatever it was that happened here. We have some video for you guys where you can see that glass shattered, where those bullets entered into that area. We heard that down on the bottom, or this building is also student living, student housing for the students there at Temple University. A lot of students do live here, so I can only imagine parents hearing this headline, seeing this on social media, had to be pretty scary. There have been no arrests reported, which to me is even scarier. So does that mean that this person is still out there? Again, why did this happen? These are things that we don't understand just yet, but what I can tell you is that police say that there was some sort of unauthorized pop-up hookah party beneath the Temple student housing. This all happening overnight. We're still learning information about it here. And of course, you see from this video that there's a lot of shattered glass in the area. So they had some crime tape up. They had a lot of police officers in the area. But that's the latest that we have there on that. Just no arrests and no information on whether we have a potential suspect in this case just yet. We have more stories just like that one up on our website. You can also download the Fox Local app if you want to keep up to date. We'll send you push alerts when we've got some breaking news coming your way. Now, still ahead, I mentioned that Artemis 2, NASA's going to send some astronauts into outer space. They're going to be doing a moon mission. You're actually taking a live look at that ship that's supposed to take off in the next couple of days. We'll have a story on that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. We are live and you are taking a live look at a semi-truck 18-wheeler, as our director is saying, a place that it shouldn't be. Now, I laugh, but I'm actually not quite sure if there are any injuries or not in this situation, but I can tell you that it looks like that truck has somehow made its way into someone's backyard. You see firefighters there on the scene trying to determine what exactly happened here. Is anybody hurt? The one thing I don't see right now, and maybe as they zoom out will be a better look, I don't see an ambulance on the scene just yet. Of course, firefighters are first responders. A lot of them are also EMTs trained well in these kinds of incidents where they're able to help people out if there is any injury in this incident. So don't know just yet what happened to the driver, how they left the road, but I'm also getting a better look here. That looks like a very narrow turn, and so maybe it was just a lot of weight on one side of the truck and it couldn't make it. I mean, wow, actually, incredible that it is zooming out the way it is now, because you see just how sharp and just how narrow that turn is. I can completely understand how this happened. We'll be taking deeper looks at this as our live stream goes on, but this is our chopper for San Francisco sister station that we have here at Fox, getting live images for you guys as this incident is being covered. As we learn more about this, I'll be bringing it to you live right here on Philadelphia Live. All right, coming back to me here in the station. Welcome back. Happy that you chose to be here with me as we bring you some of the biggest stories of the day. And I want to go national now, and pretty soon it'll be like intergalactic, I guess. So Artemis 2, have you guys been keeping up with it? NASA says they're going to send 4 astronauts into space, not just to roam around or do whatever. It's supposed to be a moon mission. I want to touch base with one of our reporters from Fox News who's been talking all about this, learning the latest for us. This is Amy, joining us from Cape Canaveral in Florida. Amy, tell me a little bit more about this. When is it supposed to happen? They say a couple of days, but what does that actually mean?
Yeah, well, it means there's a couple of days of preparations left, right? So the launch will be on Wednesday, Judea, and final preparations are currently underway. That means that the astronauts are all under quarantine and all of the inspections are wrapping up. And while all of that's going on, they're also keeping an eye on the weather. The conditions are 80% favorable for a Wednesday launch at the moment, but we are still looking at concerns that could come from the cloud coverage being too much, or maybe there being high winds. NASA's Artemis 2 test flight will be the first crewed flight of the Artemis program. The milestone mission will lay the groundwork for future Artemis missions, which aim to eventually land astronauts on the moon. That means there's a lot to do during the 10-day test flight. The crew will practice manually flying Orion for the first time, demonstrate how to live and work in the spacecraft, and test out emergency procedures.
Even though this mission is not going to the surface, we are starting some of the processes that we think are going to help them be successful physically, emotionally, and mentally in getting ready for service work.
The crew itself is also one for the history books. It includes the first woman and first Canadian to make a trip to the moon. And as we all count down the hours till launch time, you can bet the astronauts are just as excited. Over the weekend, mission specialist Christina Cook shared it was all starting to feel real.
How do we feel as the people that can call the moon the destination, a destination, not just something we're looking at? And it is our strong hope that this mission is the start of an era where everyone, every person on Earth can look at the moon and think of it as also a destination.
Liftoff is scheduled for 6:24 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and that will be a 2-hour launch window, and that's, of course, barring any delays. Judea?
Okay, I'm thinking 6:24 Eastern Standard Time. That means potentially, since they got a 2-hour window, you guys could possibly see this take off during our live stream here. We're here 7 to 10 p.m. It's a possibility, so you're definitely going to want to join us. Amy, I got a couple of questions for you. I saw that NASA had a press conference not too long ago. I don't know if you were able to listen to it because I know you've been reporting all day long, but just by chance, did you get to listen to any part of it?
I caught a little bit of it right before I did one of these live shots with Live Now, and it seems like everything is going smoothly. So no red flags, no sorts of delays being mentioned. Weather's still favorable, so things are looking up.
That's good to hear. And I also heard them saying that they didn't anticipate anything going wrong during this. But they have that 2-hour window. Just in case it doesn't happen on Wednesday, do they have a couple of days where they can get this done? I've watched like Starlink, some of the other spacecrafts out there. They give themselves a big window. So just wondering, do they have extra time just in case it doesn't happen on Wednesday?
I believe there is a window. I'd have to kind of get back to you on exactly the days. I'm not too sure of the exact days, but typically, yes, like you said, there is a window of time. And if it all has to do with how the weather is looking to, if it's favorable, I don't have the exact dates right now, but NASA is publishing constant updates on this. So best thing to do for any of your viewers would be to keep up with NASA. They've got a live feed. That's what I've been listening to all day. It really does help.
Good to hear. Another thing that I've also been paying attention to, and I heard that they actually don't want to harp on this, but that there are so many firsts that will be on this flight. So you mentioned them in your report there. Can you just go over it again just in case somebody is just now joining us, the firsts that will be making this trip?
Lots of firsts. You know, the first is the fact that this is even happening, right? The last time that there was a mission like this that went around the moon was half a century ago. So that's maybe not a first. Let's call it a second, but it is a first for our time for us to be able to witness. And then it's also the first time that a woman is going to be doing a mission like this to the moon, as well as a Canadian. So lots of firsts, lots of reasons to celebrate. Don't know why they're not harping on it. I think everyone here is super excited. I've spoken to a lot of families who actually knew some of these tidbits. So exciting times.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking about that too when they said it. I was like, why don't you want us to like celebrate that? But I'm thinking that they're probably just really modest about this mission. They just want to make sure that everything goes right. And so rather than, I guess, having the attention on stuff like that, they just want us to think about the fact that, well, it's just happening at all. So, Amy, thank you so much for...
You hit it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for joining us, giving us a little sneak preview into this. You guys remember she said Wednesday, I think she said 6:24. That may be the time that we get to see what maybe even our parents haven't gotten to see. I don't know how young your parents are, but this is very much so like a historic moment for our country. It's really cool. Amy, I appreciate you. All right, you guys, we got about a minute, and I want to run through another big story that we are covering that's happening closer to home. This one I heard out in Atlantic City in New Jersey. It's a big issue out there. A man has been charged with aggravated manslaughter in the death of his own child. So they're saying that this child is 3 months old. It was his daughter. And the man that we're talking about here is 27-year-old Antonio Reyes. So he has been arrested on a charge of first-degree aggravated manslaughter for the death of his daughter, as I mentioned there. They say that back in November in 2025, officers were called to his home. When they got there, they saw that this infant, I told you 3 months old, this infant was not responding at all. And so they tried to rush her to the hospital. Unfortunately, she just didn't make it. And so they took him into custody, and now an investigation is continuing to go on. So those charges that he's facing, I want to be fair here in saying that when we know somebody is facing charge, they haven't been convicted just yet. Technically, they should be seen as innocent until proven guilty. They all deserve their day in court. But this is a big story unfolding out in New Jersey. Again, that Atlantic City man that has been charged in the death of his own daughter. How it happened, we don't have those details just yet. All right, still ahead, we got some big news in the world of sports. We'll be touching base with our sports team when we come back. welcome back to Philadelphia Live, you guys. I was thinking about the fact that we've got this crazy story coming up for you here in the world of sports. So I apologize for the tongue tie there. You're taking a look at Citizens Bank Park. That's where the Phillies play. But I heard that we got some new news about the Philadelphia Wings. I want to touch base with one of our sports team members, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I said this at the top of the stream, but just in case you just came back in, I don't know a lot about sports, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. We're going to learn together about this developing news that we've gotten in today. I heard that the Philadelphia Wings are going to be a thing of the past, and I just wanted to know. That's a lacrosse team, by the way, you guys, just in case you're not native to here, but you just so happen to be in our stream. I want to know just how big lacrosse is here in Philadelphia. Is that any indication of why they decided that they're no longer going to be a thing? So let's get on over to our sports team. Thank you for joining us in here today. Remember, I told you I'm not that good with sports, and I'm hoping that you can help me out a little bit here. What in the world is happening with the Philadelphia Wings?
Well, the Wings are going to cease operations after this season. That means that they will not be a team anymore after the season's over. They've been here for 9 years on this current stint. They've had different stints here in Philadelphia before, and so yeah, I mean they would draw some fans down there, and right down here in the sports complex. And they just aren't going to be able to continue operating. Comcast deciding to let that go in their portfolio. And so after 9 years here in this latest stint, the Philadelphia Wings are going to be gone, done.
Okay. Now, I got to hear Breland Moore talk a little earlier, and she seems to be one of, I don't want to be disrespectful, but one of few fans, but she seems to be a very strong fan. What is their fan base like?
No, they've got some really good fans. Lacrosse is big up here in the Northeast, and they've got some good fans. They would draw some fans out there, and it would get to be a great time. I know many people who, like Breland, would go to the games and enjoy them, have a great time there watching lacrosse. It's very high-paced action. You know, they're going back and forth, up and down, and scoring a lot of goals usually in lacrosse. So it's a very exciting game to be at, an event to be at. But yeah, it's not something that Comcast is looking to keep going here. So they are going to cease operations here after, like I said, 9 straight seasons of playing.
Which is really sad, especially when you think about the players. They've probably given a lot to this sport, especially to Philadelphia, in order to bring it here to us. And I got another question for you. With all that being said, I asked around the newsroom just to get a little better idea of what we're talking about here. And I did hear that it's possible that this isn't the first time it's been mentioned that maybe they would cease operation. And so I guess what makes this time different, if that's true?
It just comes down to expenses and being able to, what they want to continue to pay for. And so, yeah, there have been other times that the Philadelphia Wings have been in existence here. I think this was their 4th different stint over their history that this name, the Philadelphia Wings, have been here. But in this most recent one, they're just deciding they don't want to continue to foot the bill for that. And so it's going to cease operations. So, yeah, it is fun for people to go down there. Everybody loves, as you get used to this city, you're going to see everybody loves sports here. They love to get around town and even just go out. And it's an experience. It's not just an event or a sporting event. It's an experience. And people do that with their friends and their family, and they enjoy doing that around here. And Wings games were no different for that.
Got you. And I am learning that this is a huge sports city, so I need to get with the times or get lost. So, hopefully someone will take me under their wing, and then I'll get to go to some of these games that you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott, how much do you know about wrestling?
Which, like the WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Okay, did you hear that John Cena is supposed to be making a return soon?
I have heard that, yes. Now, is that true?
According to the headlines, I mean, we'll have to see. But if it's at WrestleMania, that should be a really big deal.
Sounds like something they would do for that, yeah. Like they usually pull out all the stops for that, of course, and that would be something that would get people's attention.
Yeah, for sure, of course. All right, we'll be touching base with you a little more on some of the bigger sports headlines. I'm sure there are also some things that you want to bring me. So next time I come out to you, I'll let you take the stand, and then you let me know where you want to go.
Yeah,
and
no problem. Just
be
tell
willing
people
to teach me.
Just do not turn on the Phillies game. They're losing 7-0, and leave the Sixers game off right now because they're also losing. That one's a little closer, but yeah, just not right now. Maybe later.
Dang. Okay, wait, Scott. Again, you got to like get me up to date on this. Are they both considered pretty good teams? Like, for them to be losing right now, should people be surprised, or like, does everybody normally have their tail tucked between their legs?
So this is game 4 of 162 for the Phillies. It's a little early to be getting concerned, but it is troubling that they are staring right now at potentially their 3rd straight loss. This is a team that a lot of people around the league thought would contend for and be the favorite to win the National League East Division title for the 3rd straight year. But they're out to a slow start. We've seen that around here before. They've gone on to have successful seasons after that. So it's nothing to be like overly concerned about, but they have been getting booed down there at the ballpark. Their manager was ejected in the 1st inning. It's just been a bit of a disaster down there so far. I believe it was 7-0 in the 3rd inning. As far as the Sixers go, they're going to be in the playoffs, at least in the play-in tournament at the worst case. They've got a shot to get in as possibly a 6 seed, maybe even a 5 seed, but they've got to keep winning some games. They're getting healthier now. So they are a decent team, and just everybody around here has been frustrated because they can't ever seem to get past the 1st round of the playoffs when they do get in. So they're getting down here. It's the end of the season. They're trying to lock up a good seed, and that's what they're playing for here, including tonight.
Okay, well, fingers crossed for them. This seems to be a pretty bluesy sports talk segment that we had here. We started with, yeah, yikes, for Philly fans. Okay, so we started with the lacrosse team. They'll be calling it quits in just a little bit. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough money to keep things going, is what I'm understanding. Yeah. And then you're telling me that the Phillies and the Sixers aren't doing so hot right now either, but we'll keep them in our thoughts and in our prayers, all right?
Yeah, Sixers are in a much more competitive game. The Phillies right now, just they need a lot of help tonight.
Yikes. All right. Scott, thank you. See you in a little bit. We'll be talking to you a little bit more about some of our bigger stories of the day, and hopefully we've got some better news for our fans out there. All right, y'all, still ahead. I told you I wanted to keep a tradition that Bill Anderson has already got going for us during the 7 to 10. So just in case you've watched with him before, we are going to have a question of the day. But again, we're putting a little spin on things. So I'll be joined by Jake Leonard in just a little bit. I'll bring him up to the desk and we'll talk about some of the trending stories out there. We'll see you guys in a second. right, guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I brought our Jake Leonard up to the desk.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. usually working on our top stories of the day online and keeping us up to date on social media, but now you're right here.
Yeah, I'm joining you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, you guys, Jake posed a question for all of you out there, and this has to do with a big story as well.
Yes.
So do you want to pose it and then I'll give them the question?
Yeah, so basically it comes from the whole thing with the smart glasses. We're seeing a lot with smart glasses. You know, they just got banned from courtrooms. There's a lot of talk with, are they good? Are they bad? So our question today was, well, are smart glasses like Meta's the next big thing? You know, smartphones are the big thing, and then AirPods. Could Meta glasses be next? Do you think they're great for content, or are they just a privacy nightmare?
I mean, honestly, a little bit of both, but let's see what you guys said. So we asked on social media.
Yes, we asked on social media. We have a go vote out. Right now, no, privacy nightmare is in the lead. 67% of people agree. Someone says other, 33%.
But no one said it's great for content.
No one said. Actually, someone did on Instagram. Someone slid up and said it was great for content.
Okay, because I've seen, like, don't lie to me now. I've seen all those videos of, like, people pretending like it's a genuine moment that they're having with you in the store, in the park, or whatever. And of course, they're like recording.
No,
we see them all the time.
Listen, I think it could be good in a lot of ways, but it is also freaky because now you have to like kind of be looking around when you're out, like, is someone like recording me? Because apparently they do have like the light on the top of them that you can see, like I think it's like green if it's recording, but you can easily cover that up. Yeah. So you can easily get behind it. Honestly, this whole thing reminds me when I was younger, I loved iCarly. And there was like that episode of iCarly where they like were like trying to expose people. So they like wore like these crazy disguises and they had like glasses like that. And like back then everyone was like, oh my gosh, like that's so crazy. Like imagine that. But like now it's like so normalized, you know? Because I mean, the Meta glasses are like the first really big popular smart glasses, but I remember these like glasses like this have been around for a while. Like a couple years ago, Snapchat had some that were pretty popular, and like I feel like the Meta ones are kind of normalizing them, you know?
Yeah, I think also because they're pretty fashionable, so they look like your regular old Ray-Bans. But yeah, then you also get the content, and it actually records in very good quality too.
It does, which is kind of crazy. Like it is cool. Like I do feel like people could capture, you know, like
great
moments, you know,
from that POV perspective.
But also, unfortunately, it could also be used for evil.
Yes.
So,
and so
I don't know.
I mean, that's the concern, as you mentioned, that they're having there in the courts, that there are some things that you aren't supposed to see. I mean, we as journalists, we hear from the judge. They'll tell us, hey, you can't show the witnesses' faces, or maybe there'll be young people in the court and minors. You don't want to show those either. But if you've got these glasses on, you see a little bit of everything, and it's up to your discretion. I mean, you could be sued, but it's up to your discretion what you're going to record. Right. All right, so where can people go to vote on this so that we can keep this going throughout the show?
This is on fox29.com/go vote, and it's under the Fox Local tab.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for bringing this to us. Again, we will be checking in a little later on. I'm really interested in the people who start leaving comments too, so they can let us know what exactly their thoughts are. That's going to be really interesting. All right, you guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back, there are going to be some hyper-local stories that I want to bring you guys. Jake, thank you so much for joining me. There are going to be some hyper-local stories that I want to bring you guys back up to speed on. Plus, we are also keeping our eyes on that truck that has turned over into someone's backyard in California. They seem to be trying to get it out of the way right now. We'll have more on this when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. We are live streaming. There's so much happening around the world right now. We'll be touching base on some of our hyperlocal stories. So those are going to be the things that are happening right here in our neighborhoods that could affect you. But I want to get out to California. We showed you this live picture a little while ago. A tractor trailer somehow ending up in someone's backyard. This is a chopper from one of our sister stations flying around the area out there in California. A really big deal because first of all, that's a big vehicle. It's a heavy vehicle. And then one of my questions was, how in the world did this happen? Now the chopper is making its way around, so hopefully you'll be able to see in just a second, but it is a very narrow, sharp turn to get through that area. You can see just a little bit of it there. So I can only imagine that trying to come around, they just, it was too much. They couldn't make it. And it seems to me that now we've got some trucks on the scene that may be trying to pull that truck out. I can't imagine that vehicle that's on the scene is going to be able to do much of anything. That doesn't seem like a very big ramp, but we'll see what happens. And maybe they only need to pull a couple of the wheels on. Now, I mentioned before that I didn't have any information on whether anybody was hurt in this, and that's still true right now. Our sister station does have this live picture up for us, but we don't have much information from local authorities just yet. I did notice that we don't have an ambulance on scene, which hopefully means that the driver in this situation is okay. But I'm sure there's going to be a much bigger investigation to determine how this happened. And I'm just thinking about, how sharp that turn is as well. And you can see they've got signs out there letting people know that it's coming up. I wonder if that homeowner has experienced anything like this before. But that's only speculation from me. We'll have to wait and see what happens. There were plenty of firefighters out there on the scene. I'm sure just responding, making sure that everybody was okay. And until they're able to get that truck out of there, as you can see, that roadway is for sure shut down. We're getting a closer picture now. I just want to stay on this just a little while longer with you guys. If you are just now joining us, a semi truck has crashed into someone's backyard. This is live from California, so it's not happening here in Pennsylvania, but still a very crazy scene. And as we try to bring you guys live stuff that's happening from all over, this just seemed fitting. So, and now you can see the road blockages from at the very top of that roadway. So we'll keep our eyes on it. If they do start to load that vehicle in, it actually looks like they're towing a sedan. It actually looks like they're towing, or is that may be a pickup truck. It looks like that truck took on some impact there. All right, again, we're gonna be trying to get some more information for you guys here. All I've got is the live picture, and that's all speculation from me, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more in the time to come. All right, we also know that there is a live town hall happening. I can see one of our representatives in the screen. We'll be getting out there in just a little bit, but first and foremost, this weather. It has been the most gorgeous day I could have asked for in the city of Philadelphia. I'm feeling so super grateful. Joined now by our Kathy Orr, one of our meteorologists, to let us know, how long is this going to last for us? Are we seeing anything like this in the rest of the week forecast ahead?
It's going to be great. Today we made it to 72 degrees, and then as we go through the rest of the week, we at least have 2 days in the 80s, and then we drop a little bit. But Judea, we are looking at like a really nice stretch of weather. A couple weeks ago, we had back-to-back 80-degree days, and then temperatures fell. It's just the time of year. Typically, you see the ups and downs of the month of March in the Delaware Valley, but not typically these types of extremes. We get a lot of windy days, we can get a lot of rain, we can get snow. We're more on the drier side and the warmer side as of late. Take a look at Philadelphia right now. Obviously our beautiful skyline lit up tonight with temperatures that are not going to fall off all that much with an increase in some cloud cover. It's 66 degrees, south-southwest winds at 7 miles an hour. And when you look at the temperatures, we're still in the 60s, and those overnight lows will be around 60 as well. In our neighborhoods, we're in the 60s in Media, in Ardmore, mid-60s there, Pennsville at 66, Glassboro at 66. So all of these temperatures staying quite warm. And look at the country. the central part of the country even, a surge of temperatures well above average. Yes, Texas gets warm this time of year, but this warmth goes through Kansas City, it goes to Nebraska, it goes to southern South Dakota. You're talking about temperatures in the 70s and 80s. So a good part of the country, I'd say at least 80%, looking at temperatures above average at this point. So we're not alone. We're looking at dry conditions on ultimate Doppler, a few clouds coming in here or there, but tomorrow will definitely be a warm day, and it gets even warmer by Wednesday. During the overnight hours, lows in the upper 50s to around 60. We should be at 39 and we'll be at 61 tomorrow morning, and that's how we are going to see some real warm temperatures. The wind is going to help. Southwest winds, 20 to 30 miles an hour, and then you see those afternoon high temperatures really plunging. Wind gusts now have settled down for the night, and they will be picking up tomorrow as temperatures rise well into the 80s. 82 in Philadelphia, 81 in Wilmington, and you can see some 70s and 60s down the shore with that ocean influence and also the bay breezes. The Delaware Bay temperatures are only in the 40s, the same with the Atlantic Ocean, and they're influencing those air temperatures down the shore. So let's look at the Fox Futurecast, because as we go hour by hour, you can see we stay dry. We have a front to the north that's going to keep the chance of a few spotty showers, mainly through the Poconos. Then as we get into late Tuesday into Wednesday, we see some showers move closer, especially Wednesday morning and then Wednesday afternoon with a frontal boundary. Some of those will be strong, but right now it doesn't look like anything will be severe with winds gusting to about 60 miles an hour or any kind of damaging winds. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that with these storms on Wednesday. The big thing that's going to happen, obviously, is some pockets of heavy rain, and behind it, much cooler temperatures. Temperatures will fall 30 degrees between Wednesday and Thursday. So what is the chance of rain this week? Really not much tomorrow. It's Wednesday. That's transition day. And then just a slight chance for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A better chance, unfortunately, of seeing some rain on Easter Sunday. So as we go through the week, we have the Phils game tomorrow evening. It will be pleasant. Wednesday, of course, Passover begins at sundown. Another Phils game as well. Some scattered showers and storms for the evening, so we'll keep an eye on that. Thursday, just cooler, a lot cooler, 30 degrees cooler between Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, temperatures bump up if you're going to be traveling for the weekend. Saturday looks warm, 82. Easter Sunday, 80, with a mix of sun and clouds and a chance of some spotty showers, especially in the afternoon on Easter Sunday. So be aware of that. And then here we go again. Another front comes through and temperatures start crashing on Monday, next Monday. So a lot of up and down. That's typically what happens during the month of March and into April, and expecting more rain in the month of April. They always say April showers bring May flowers. So that's what we're looking at, Judea. That's what's going on in the Weather Center. So next couple days, short sleeves, right? Sleeveless dresses. And then after that, get the blazer back out.
Okay. All right, noted. Thank you so much for giving me the fashion advice as well as our forecast ahead. Looking forward to seeing what April is like here in Philadelphia. That's actually my birthday month. So it'll be my first time, experiencing it back up here in the Northeast in like 5 years.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we'll have to celebrate. Happy birthday month.
Thank you. All right, you guys, still ahead. There are a lot of live elements happening all around the country. Some big stories that we're going to talk to you about a little bit too. Representative Omar is hosting a town hall right now as we speak in Spring Lake Park. This is out in Minnesota. We know that it's now open to questions from the community. I want to listen in and see what exactly it is that the people want to know from her and how she's responding.
Mankind in a minute. Yeah, just a second. I've already asked the question. She already gave me the answer. Yeah. Okay. If you want me to sit down?
Thank you so much. I do, even though I am a woman of faith, I do believe in the separation of church and state. I do think that it is important for people to have an idea of what they are walking into and what they are believing and following. And so thank you for putting that out into the space. We'll do here, Paige Brown. glasses.
Thank you. I'm Amber. Hi.
Because both of you have, I'm like,
That's okay. We both have a hand.
both of you raised your hand and
that's
you
okay.
have the exact same. I'm like, I don't.
No worries. So hi, I'm Amber. I live in Minneapolis, and I'll try not to go crazy on my story and everything, but I just wanted to introduce myself. This is my first town hall. So hi, everyone. And I have lived in Minneapolis for about a little over 10 years now, and I'm from St. Cloud. And I was born with a congenital heart defect called dextrotransposition of the great arteries. So I have had 18 heart surgeries, and I have had 5 open heart surgeries, the last of which was about 2 years ago. So I'm doing good. I'm here. I'm alive. Yes.
Amazing.
So I'm here because I wanted to, I've always been involved in politics. I have a poli-sci degree, and I currently work in Medicaid enrollment for Medica. I'm in charge of the IT department, so I'm just trying to give my backstory, but I am in particular very invested in the ACA and the Affordable Care Act because it gave me the ability to get insurance, to get life insurance in particular, and for me to be able to just be protected. And so I have this very large concern about, the cuts to the ACA and making sure that people with pre-existing conditions like me, I've worked all my life. I've worked since I was basically 14 years old. My parents own a business. I worked for them, and then I went to college and I got a job right out of college. I've always had a job. I've always worked really hard, and I've had great insurance, but I have a very large concern because the only cure for my condition is a heart transplant, which will probably happen when I'm in my 50s, hopefully. Maybe later, we'll find out. But essentially, I just want to know, what's going on with the ACA? What's kind of are we hearing in Washington about making sure that the credits are not going to be, affecting Americans? I know it's going to affect Americans, but what are we doing to protect, particularly those with pre-existing conditions?
We worked to pass legislation to protect people who have pre-existing conditions. We worked very hard to not have the subsidies go away. They are currently in the Big Ugly Bill. And fortunately, unless we pass legislation that stops that, those are going to go into effect. And as I've answered the questions relating to healthcare throughout the night, our only path to addressing it is to have at least, if not both the House and the Senate, at least one of the chambers be one that will hold the administration accountable and use its leverage to legislate on behalf of Americans who are going to be made vulnerable. But as Aaron Cagle said earlier, there's pushes here in Minnesota to create a single payer system. I serve as one of the vice chairs for Medicare for All caucus in Congress. So we'll continue to push that. When I got to Congress, I think we had like 90 members that were signers, and I think we're at 160 or more now. We had 4 hearings my first year there, and so we continue to grow and have the American people understand that this is a popular issue. It's actually kind of funny because the SAFE Act or voter ID, one of the reasons they're saying they're pushing for it is Americans support it, but they don't support the actual bill once they understand what the bill does. But Medicare for All, even when we explain what it does, we have over 75% of Americans that support the bill. And so if we are going by what is popular with the American people, I tell the majority to pass the Medicare for All Act and to get it done for the American people. So we'll take maybe 2 more. Next, yes.
All right, you guys, so we have been listening in to this town hall. That's Representative Omar speaking out in Minnesota. That very last question that she'd gotten was asking her about Medicare, about health care, what she plans to do with it, how people like that young woman who said that she's going to have some sort of surgery, a very invasive surgery soon, what she plans to do for people like her. So we were listening into that, and that's going to be happening for a little while longer. I heard her say she was going to take 2 more questions, but I want to get us back out to California. Remember that tractor trailer, that semi-truck that went off the roads through a guardrail into someone's backyard. Again, this is live pictures that we're seeing right now in California. Still not much information just yet from our sister station out in San Francisco. They are, however, providing us this live chopper footage that you're seeing. So a little earlier on, I noticed that there is this white, I thought it was a sedan, but I think it was a pickup truck being loaded into the back of a tow truck, which for me was good news because I wasn't sure if that truck was there for the tractor trailer or not, and I knew that that probably wasn't going to get it out. So it's only to be determined how long it's going to take to get this tractor trailer out of the area. Big question that I had is whether or not anybody had been hurt, injured, impacted. Luckily, it does not look like that vehicle went into the home or impacted the structure there at all. But I wonder just how often that this happens, because as the chopper is flying around, you're going to see that it is a very narrow, sharp turn to get through the area. In our live chats, one of you guys were asking, what is it doing in a residential area? You know, I'm not quite sure if this is a normal route for trucks like this to go through, and if so, how do they make it through? Because as you're going to see, it is a very tough turn. I would say probably even for sedans, especially if you're going a certain speed. So I'm not quite sure how other people are able to make it through that area, but when we do get information, I'll try to keep you updated. We'll get back out to this as long as that helicopter is flying over the area. But another big thing that I wanted to touch base with you guys on is happening out in Texas. We heard about this school shooting at a high school. They say a student came in, shot a teacher who, by the way, had been rushed to the hospital, and then that student, they say, turned the gun on themselves. I heard that the sheriff had a press conference a little earlier, not too long ago actually, and it was able to explain a little bit more about the situation, how parents, families in the area should be reacting, and what we know at this point in time. See if we can take a listen to that.
So once again, we're just moments away here from this press conference from the Comal County Sheriff's Department, and they are going to get going here to provide us more details on this school shooting.
I'd like to welcome y'all to the Comal County Sheriff's Office, and thank y'all for all being here this afternoon. I think y'all are all aware of what happened, but we are going to take a few moments to share with you what happened and what has transpired and where things stand at the moment. So this morning, there was a school shooting that occurred at the campus of Hill Country Preparatory College in the Bulverde area of Comal County. A teacher was shot and she has been transported to the hospital. We do not know the status of her condition at this time. The shooter, a 15-year-old male student, died at the scene. We are still working out there. It's still a live scene under investigation. And I want to be very clear, this situation was contained very, very quickly. So immediately responding deputy sheriffs with the Comal County Sheriff's Office, the Bulverde Police Department. I had phone calls from the Texas Rangers. There was a constable in the area. So there was a multiple unit response. There is no ongoing, nor was there at the time, threat to students, staff, or the public at the time of the shooting once the shooter shot themselves. Our deputies responded immediately alongside the Bulverde Police Department, Comal County Precinct 2, and other agencies, and the Rangers, the Texas Rangers, are assisting with this investigation. And I do want to say this, so when this was occurring this morning, we got multiple telephone calls from multiple agencies reaching out, offering their assistance. I got a phone call from the FBI. I know that Chief Jones got phone calls from the Rangers. I got a call from Congressman Roy asking if there was anything that we needed. And I know with everything, with incidents like this that occur in the state of Texas, it's nice that you get that kind of a telephone call that asks you what you need. School was placed on lockdown right away to protect everyone on the campus, and the students were safely transported to Spring Branch Middle School. So Bulverde Middle School, and reunited with their families. So the kids are removed. There's approximately 250 kids on that particular campus. They are moved to a place of safety, and then what we have called reunification, where we put the correct child back with the correct family member. Also, I'm very proud to say this kind of response doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of training, coordination, and people who are committed to protecting this community. We showed today what preparation and commitment look like, and we will continue to stand ready for this community every single day. We have been doing these exercises in Comal ISD and NBISD for years for this kind of response. So I want to recognize every person who responded today: law enforcement, EMS, Comal ISD personnel, school staff, administrators, and all who played a role in making sure the students were safe. That's our priority one, students, faculty. They stepped into a very difficult situation and handled it with professionalism and care. But beyond this response, we need to acknowledge the human side of this. And this is our community. These are our schools, these are our students, these are our teachers, and these are all families that most of them will reside in Comal County. What happened today is something no community ever wants to face, but we prepare for something that we hope never occurs. And this was a frightening morning for many parents and families because of the number of phone calls that we got here at the Sheriff's Office. But I want the parents and the kinfolks of these children that were on this campus to know your kids, your children were protected and they were safe. And we will continue to have a presence as needed while we work through the next steps. This remains an active investigation as we work to understand all the circumstances surrounding what happened. And we will share additional information as it is confirmed. I also want to thank the public for your patience today. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon when we're all meeting, and this all occurred in the 9 o'clock hour. But you have to understand this morning when everything is occurring, it took a while to do the reunification and take care of things what needed to be taken care of the school. But I want to thank you for relying on official information and helping us to keep rumors from spreading, because everybody in this room knows what I don't know and I don't hear officially, I make up. So thank you for taking the time to actually come and find out what actually happened. And our focus now is on supporting those affected and continuing to keep our community safe. And I want everybody to know our thoughts and prayers are with the teacher and her family, as we hope that her recovery and her condition is good. This is a strong community and we take care of each other, and we will get through this together, and we'll keep you updated as information comes available. So I want to thank y'all for being here. And with that, that is our statement.
Do we have any additional questions for the sheriff?
Wow, I was prepared for one. So
we have been listening into the sheriff explaining what happened out there at that Texas high school earlier today. Just in case you are new to all of this, we did hear that there was a school shooting out at a preparatory school in the area, and that a student, 15 years old, they say brought a weapon to school, shot and killed a teacher, shot a teacher. I'm so sorry, you guys. We do not have any indication that that teacher is dead or anything like that. They are still in the hospital fighting. We have heard that the student, the suspect in this case, turned the gun on themselves and has died. That was the information that I had there for you guys. I apologize for making that slip up, but I wanted to make sure that I corrected myself before we moved forward. Now, in our live chat, you guys have been asking a lot of great questions because I see that so many of you guys care about this. One question that I got was, they said, don't all high schools now have metal detectors? Because they do by me. Well, I looked because I wasn't familiar with Texas school system, but no, they do not all have metal detectors. Some of the schools do have AI-powered weapon detection systems. They also, of course, do try to scan students as they come into the school, but not all of these schools have metal detectors. And I'm seeing that may seem to be a theme in our schools out there in the South, that they are starting to implement these different changes. And if you don't mind letting us know, this is Ryder Sue, who hit us up on TikTok. If you don't mind letting us know what state you live in, I'd be interested in seeing what area you are in where most schools do have those detection systems. All right, you guys, still rolling ahead. We'll be touching base with one of our reporters from Fox News in just a second. Of course, one of the big stories is that the FIFA World Cup is coming to our areas soon, and we'll be seeing how they're, trying to get ready for it out in Houston, Texas, while we were just talking about another part of Texas. We'll touch base with her in just a second. We'll go to break first. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. We are just a couple of months out from the FIFA World Cup, but if you want to be exact, I heard 70 days. And it's crunch time because a couple of countries still have to qualify. I want to get right out to our Sarah Allegre, who's joining us live from Houston, Texas. Sarah, talk to us about how they're preparing for the games down there.
Hey there, Judea. I mean, lots of excitement right now, and the road to the World Cup has essentially spanned over the course of several years, so a long time coming, and now we're getting down to the wire, the final preparations for the fan festival and so on. But the biggest things is just leading up to the final teams that are set to play here in the area, here in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico as well. And we're coming down to the final spots this week for the 48-team field.
We'll have the full pieces to the puzzle, so it's exciting, and we all want to see what happens over the next couple days.
And it's all falling into place. Just 6 teams are fighting for the final spots in the FIFA World Cup. For Houston, the picture becomes clearer Tuesday. Jamaica takes on DR Congo, and Sweden faces Poland. Those matches then decide who heads here in June.
So they're going to be great matches no matter what. We're fortunate to have 3 of the top 10 teams in the world playing here in the Netherlands, Germany, and Portugal, and of course Ronaldo and all the excitement that comes with that.
I say Houston, Houston, Houston! And as we wait for those final slots, the next generation is already stepping into the moment as FIFA works to grow the game in the U.S. For some local players, their dream is already taking shape.
These kids will have this experience of playing at the fan festival while everyone is watching the best players in the world, and they'll be playing the game too right alongside them.
24 youth clubs have earned a spot in the one-of-a-kind championship, rising to the top out of more than 100 teams. This summer, they'll play in the heart of Houston's World Cup celebrations, just steps away from the global stage.
I hope they're so excited to be a part of it. Team sports is really important in youth development. All of the life skills that you learn playing on a team that will carry these kids forward into their lives.
And hopefully to play in a World Cup game of their own one day. Mexico will officially kick things off on June 11th. So coming up here quick, that's going to be the opening match for the World Cup. Then the very next day, the U.S. takes on Paraguay in L.A. for the first of many games here in the U.S. Of course, Houston being one of those host cities, Philly as well. Judea, back to you.
Oh my goodness, Sarah, I feel like time is flying, and it literally feels like just yesterday they made the announcement that the games were coming to America, which was a huge deal for us. I was telling the people before, soccer is a billion-dollar industry. People all over the world absolutely love it. There are going to be so many people in our cities just figuring out American culture, trying to get around with the rest of us. It's going to be pretty cool. I want to ask you about this. Yeah. We have been talking about the ticket sales here in Philadelphia because I heard pretty soon they're going to be opening their last phase. How's the excitement boiling out in Houston for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one last shot, one last push to secure your seat to the FIFA World Cup. So we do know there's a lot of excitement going around that. Some ticket sales and just people trying to grab at it while they can because, you know, this only comes every so often here. So people are trying to make the most of it while they can. Of course, bringing a draw across Houston, hopefully seeing some of our neighbors in the U.S., but then also internationally as well. As you said, us sharing our culture with a lot of great folks, and then hopefully they share their culture with us. So it's going to be quite the melting pot in the next couple of months, and I know I'm personally going to see what I can do to score a couple of seats with my friends and myself. So yeah, definitely coming down to the wire in that regard too. You know, the final teams and the final fans trying to make their way to the World Cup this year.
Let me ask you, I don't know how big of a soccer fan you may or may not be, but is there anyone in particular, any country that you might be looking forward to see play, or are you just excited for the games in general?
I'm just Team USA. I know Jamaica comes with such an incredible crowd, so I'm looking forward to seeing them as well. You know, I was more so on the dancer side of things. I wasn't the biggest athlete. I like baseball, but soccer, I think, just a sport I've really grown to love over the past couple of years, and especially being along the FIFA World Cup journey. So I think just to attend one of these matches in person will be a huge deal for me. It's something I've personally never experienced. This is going to be my first World Cup, and so to bring the coverage, but also to witness it as a fan is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
For sure. It's going to be a first for a lot of us. Sarah, I'm going to let you go. I know there's so many other stations that you got to touch base with and talk to them about what's happening out there in Houston. Appreciate your time with us here on Philadelphia Live. And, you know, as Sarah was mentioning, you guys, there's so much to look forward to when the FIFA World Cup does come to our neck of the woods. I hear there are some changes here in Philadelphia, including how long bars are going to be staying open. Actually, when we come back from this break, I want to talk to you guys about some fun things that you could be doing right now, like literally during the week. If you wanted to get out with some friends, or maybe you just want to take a load off after work, there are things that you could be doing today on a Monday night. We'll talk about it when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Jadea Murray. I'm joined now with our Jake Leonard.
Thank
welcome
you.
to
Thank
the
you.
desk. All right, so a big part of this show, I mentioned before, it's interactive. The thing that we want to know is, what do you guys care about? What are you reading? What are you watching on our website? And that's exactly what you're here to tell us about.
I'm going to tell you about 2 of the top stories on our website right now. So the first one comes from a story that our Kelly Rule did earlier. And it was about some kind of chaos that occurred at a motorsport park. So basically this happened Sunday around 11 a.m. in New Jersey. The Logan Township Police Department responded to some reports that there was some chaos around the Bridgeport Motorsports Park. So there were reports of people speeding, passing unsafely, racing, yes, and going all around their vehicles. So basically, they soon learned that it was an unauthorized meetup. It was called the Import Expo, and it was crazy. And people all the way from Massachusetts, Virginia. So it wasn't just like a local thing. It was people from all
Bridgeport.
over. Yes. So as the event started to build up, more people came. You know, there was estimated 25,000 people there.
25,000 or 2,500?
25,000. There was a lot. So police say the park, obviously it exceeded the capacity, you know, because people were coming in everywhere. It was crazy. You know, they were just parking their cars wherever. So this was creating big traffic issues for people in the area. And then an emergency alert actually went out to all the people in the area. It was basically like, disperse.
Wait, okay, so the same way like an Amber Alert goes out on your phone, they sent out what did the message say?
It was just like telling the people in the area to, you know, it was chaotic and to get out of there.
Okay, so if you guys saw that, let us know in the chat, because what in the world?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, so police said there were multiple reports of public intoxication, lewdness, disorderly conduct, littering, and multiple fights. So there was a lot going on at the park. And so if you want to learn more about it, Kelly Rule did a great story. It's posted on all of our socials right now, Fox 29 Philly. Also, you can find it on our website, fox29.com. So if you want to get the scoop, you can check it out there. But also, another big story on our website is kind of a more national one. Yesterday, on Sunday, President Trump announced that the military is constructing a massive complex beneath the new ballroom that's being built on the former East Side site. So, you know, if you remember, so there was a lot of talk, you know, when the demolition was happening. And, you know, now he was like, oh, I'm going to do the ballroom. It's going to be great. Well, now he revealed that it's actually kind of going to be a protective cover for a secure facility below.
Okay, so part of it is like, well, wait, where did this come from?
Right.
But at the same token, I mean, we do have this ongoing conflict.
Exactly.
They keep saying that his safety is, you know, at risk while he's there in the White House in Washington, D.C. I've heard that there are barricades all around the White House, so he probably does need something like this.
No, 100%. I mean, it makes sense like that he was talking about the conflict when he was speaking about this, but it's, you know, it's going to have like bullet resistant glass. It's gonna like be secure against drones, like other threats. So basically it's like a bunker.
I was gonna say this is a bunker. This is a bunker.
Right, exactly.
Okay. What do you guys think about this? I guess first, making changes to the White House, because that was the big deal with the ballroom.
Exactly.
A lot of people were like, you shouldn't be building things, destroying things, moving things around. That was the sort or whatever. So what do you think about that in and of itself? But then also the fact that we're calling it a bunker, but you know, some sort of complex compound that they're building there. Tell us in TikTok. We're also on YouTube, and Facebook as well. So live, you guys can weigh in. We'll be touching base with some of your comments in the future to come. And speaking of questions and some answers that we're looking for you guys, we do have our question of the day, courtesy of Jake. What did we ask the people?
So again, we were asking about smart glasses. You know, Meta's smart glasses, they're kind of getting more popular. The courtrooms, they were just banned. So we asked, are they the next big thing, or are they just a privacy nightmare? And so still, privacy nightmare is in the lead, 75%.
So I've got questions. Does that mean that you guys don't have them, you don't want them, you don't care for them? But we do also know that so many influencers, even regular people who just want to capture everyday things in life, wear them. And post their content all the time.
But you know, another thing about these glasses, not only are they like a privacy nightmare, they're really expensive. So it's not like, Like if you,
Matter
it's not
of
like you
fact.
can go out and get them. I think they're over at least maybe not super expensive, but I feel like definitely in the
This
hundreds.
is expensive for me. Let's see, Meta glasses, they go for
Yeah.
okay. $300 if you want like some super high class ones. I'm looking at $499 out at Target. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I mean,
Ray-Bans,
if someone
$800.
really wanted to get the glasses and they saved their money up, they could. But for the average person, they probably don't have $300+ to spend on some glasses.
That's
so.
true. That's true. And you know, we were talking about the privacy aspect of all of this because the big thing is that here in Philadelphia, starting today, you cannot wear these glasses in a courtroom. They don't want sensitive information being leaked out to the public. As we know as journalists, when we come in and we're covering stories that are happening in the court, the judge will tell us, hey, you can't show the jurors, you can't show witnesses, there are minors in the courtroom, you can't show that. But a regular everyday person who's just sitting in the back, they've got the glasses on, they see a little bit of everything.
Exactly. No
What's
one would know.
stopping them from posting?
Right.
So,
It's
big issue.
kind of scary,
It
you
is,
know?
it is scary. And that makes me think, actually, Jake, thank you. I think that we should have an interview with a tech expert on this maybe sometime this week. And we can really talk about some of the things that are at risk when you wear them. Not to scare you guys, you do what you want, but at least we'll give you the information.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so tell people, first of all, where they can vote so that we can keep this conversation going.
So the Go Vote is on our website, fox29.com/Go Vote under the Fox Local tab.
Okay, all right. And then also just follow us on social media. You'll see this as well. Jake, do you want to tell the people your social media?
Yeah, I'm at _Jake Leo.
He's got his ears to the ground.
Yes.
So if you want to know what's trending around town, he's the person to ask.
Yes.
Jake, thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Guys, I mentioned that there is a way that you could be hanging out on a Monday night, on a Tuesday night, without necessarily going to the club. It's actually a new initiative here in the city of Philadelphia, like literally new, happening today. It's called Weeknights Live. And so the city of Philadelphia has launched this new initiative. You're taking a look there at some of the options for you tonight if you wanted to get out there. Now, it does end at 9 p.m., so about 20 minutes, people will start clearing out. But there are a couple of bars, taverns, pubs, every single Monday between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. You can get out, have a drink, meet new people, mix and mingle. It's supposed to help boost our economy here in Philadelphia. It's also a way for you to get out, for you to meet people again. FIFA World Cup is coming to our area. We did just learn that bars may be able to stay open a little later. So it's a way for you to figure out what are going to be your hot spots. And just in case you missed this happening right now, all of these bars, these taverns are on a specific avenue. But if you did miss it, tomorrow in Center City, there are a couple of more options for you. The Philadelphia Marriott Downtown, Notary Hotel Philadelphia, Canopy at Hilton Philadelphia Center City Hotel, a couple of different other ones. They will also be holding some festivities, and it goes on each week, each week, each week. So if this is something that you're interested in, again, this is brand new, all happening today. So this is kind of like their launch for it. I'm sure a lot of people got out there and had themselves a very good time. We'll be checking in a little bit later on some of the other fun things to do, but still ahead, I want to make sure that we are not getting past ourselves. Coming up, gonna have another sports talk with our Fox 29 sports team. As I mentioned to you all, and I'm being completely honest, sports, not necessarily my forte, but this, Philadelphia, is a very sports-centric city. So I'm gonna have to learn a little bit. We'll be talking to them about some of the biggest teams, biggest headlines, everything that you need to know in the world of sports when we come back. back to Philadelphia Live, you guys. My name is Judea Murray. I'm glad you joined me for some of our biggest headlines of the day. Want to put our ears to the ground when it comes to sports now. And as I mentioned, not my strong suit, but I'm going to learn a thing or two. So let's get right out to Marcus, who's joining me live from the station right now. Hey, Marcus, this is our first time on air together.
Yeah, I know. I mean, first time's a charm, so we'll have some fun with this one.
We will. Okay, so last time I was talking to Scott. He said the Phillies are not having a very good night. They weren't even on the board. But I think some things have changed. Have you been watching the game?
I have been. Taijuan Walker, after giving up 7 runs, has finally been taken out. The Phillies did put a couple runs on the board with a 2-run home run by Rafael Marchand. So they are on the board. They technically are losing right now 9-2. Again, it's only game 4 of a very long season. I know a lot of people have pressed the panic button on the lack of offense from the top of the lineup, but it's still early, so I'm not too worried about it. Just another bad night at the office, I think.
A bad night at the office. Okay, that's a good way to put it. And the other big story today, we heard that the Philadelphia Wings, they may be a thing of the past. Have you learned a little bit more about that? What's happening there?
Well, they still have yet to disclose as to the reasoning behind why, but it's not like it makes it any less hurtful. I mean, the Wings was a fun time. It's always a fun time to watch. They have a lot of fun themes. They had a Kiss night. They had a Taylor Swift night, in which we've helped promote on our fantastic sports show. But yeah, I mean, overall, there's nothing new that's come out other than just the fact that, unfortunately, there are only a couple more games until the Wings are no more here in Philly.
That's going to be a bummer. I was actually surprised when I heard that you guys had a professional lacrosse team because, I mean, so for my high school, lacrosse was huge, but I just didn't know that it went on beyond that. But there are a couple of teams in the league, am I right?
Oh, yeah. There are 2 different leagues, too. They have indoor, they have outdoor. We have the Water Dogs for outdoor, and we had, obviously, the Wings for indoor. So we definitely stay active amongst the lacrosse, among the lacrosse community, as well as, especially during college lacrosse, a lot of times they do have the tournament come here, the Final Four or the national semifinals, technically at the Link. They also keep it pretty local around in DC as well, so it's still pretty popular locally.
You know what? We actually have a statement from the team. They posted this on Instagram. Marcus, if you give me a second, don't mind if I read this to our audience. Following the 2025-2026 season, we have made the decision to cease operations of the Philadelphia Wings franchise under the Comcast Spectator portfolio. This was not an easy conclusion to reach, and it is one we considered with great care. They go on to say, since the Wings' reestablishment in 2017 and return to the turf in 2018, the team has proudly carried on Philadelphia's rich lacrosse traditions at the highest level. We hope you all will join us in continuing to root for our players as they pursue new opportunities throughout the league. Now, Marcus, I have a quick question. Are they calling quits right away? Do they have another game? Is there one more opportunity for people to go out there and show their support or just show up for the players who have been showing up season after season?
I believe they have 2 more games left before the season ends. Unfortunately, from what I've read, that they are not going to make the playoffs, so these are the last 2 chances that we get to watch for the Wings. So unfortunately, they can finish out the year, but unfortunately, no postseason for them. Okay.
Well, that's noted. Again, it is sad. As I'm learning a little bit more, at first I was freaked out that we have this team and, do people actually go to the games? But hearing from you guys, it seems they had a very strong fan base, and there are going to be a lot of people who are sad to see them go.
Absolutely. But, I mean, we could also say that maybe, it's a good opportunity for you because it's your first time. Obviously, a lot of things going on in the sports world, so it's not all negative. It's just, it's just something to mark as your milestone.
Well, you said not all negative. I don't know if you have heard the news, but that John Cena may be making a return to the WWE for WrestleMania. Have you heard? You can't see me.
I am a diehard fan, and yes, reports are out that he will be the host of WrestleMania. for this upcoming WrestleMania, so it should be a lot of fun. I don't know if he'd come back really, just because they've done a lot of bells and whistles for his retirement run.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, as you know, he's a mainstream star. He's got plenty of movies and a lot of acting roles. So I think I think hosting WrestleMania in a few weeks, and then a first ballot Hall of Famer probably in the next year or two. But I don't think he'll be. I think he's just making appearances. I don't think he's going to be wrestling anymore.
Okay. Well, I actually didn't know that the development that he was hosting, so that's really big. I don't know if you saw, he did also post this on social media. Maybe that's how you already know. But I want to see if we can play the video or at least show the people. Let's see if we can pull that up for y'all.
Retired life in the sun. I'm kidding. Check out the backdrop. I'm shooting a movie for Netflix called One Attempt Remaining that you can see when it comes out. I'm also on the road, which is ironic because there's a road to WrestleMania going on, and Hollywood is really close to Vegas. Rumor around this town is WrestleMania needs a host. Well, I'm already on that road, so I will see you at WrestleMania.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
I mean,
okay,
I just saw a blank screen. I didn't see whatever it is that you're showing me. I just saw white. I saw lovely streets, saw some cars, and I didn't see anything else really.
Dedicated to the bit. Love it.
Absolutely. Kayfabe forever.
All right, Marcus, thank you so much for walking us through some of the bigger headlines out there in the world of sports. We're hoping that the Phillies come back. Real quick, have you heard how the Sixers are doing?
Sixers at last check are losing by 12 midway through the third. But good news is the fact that Embiid, Paul George, Maxey, and Edgecombe are all playing. So, I mean, there's been a lot of injuries throughout the whole season for the Sixers. So the fact that those core four players are playing together as we are about a little less than 10 games before the playoffs is a positive note. They may not get the win tonight, but just the chemistry and playing together is something to look forward to down the road.
Well, I got some good news for you. Oh, no, I don't. I can't do math.
Oh, see, come on now. You had my hopes up, and now you're showing me that they're losing. Come on.
I'm sorry.
I was liking you up until this point. Like, come on. We were talking wrestling,
Marcus.
we're talking lacrosse, and now you're just showing me the Sixers losing. Come on now. Come on.
I didn't refresh my page. I thought, and they just scored again. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. My bad. I'm gonna let you go. You can cry in the closet or wherever it is that you need to be.
I'm gonna go in that room and then cry behind you just to be like, she's the one. She's the one that made me sad.
See you later.
See you later.
All right, you guys, still ahead. We got a lot to talk about on this live stream. Welcome to Philadelphia Live. All right, still ahead. We're going to be talking about some of our biggest hyper-local stories. We got so much more coming up for you right after this. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. We're keeping you up to date on one of the bigger stories of the day. Out in Texas, we heard that there was a horrible shooting out at a high school's preparatory school, where we learned a 15-year-old student brought a weapon into the school, opened fire, hurt a teacher, turned the gun on themselves, and now that student, as we have heard, is now dead. This all happening at Hill Country College Preparatory High School out in Bulverde, Texas, which I hear is very close to the Austin area, if not within it. And the sheriff's office, they actually posted about this on social media. They also held a press conference, just trying to walk parents and family members, friends, anybody who may be in the area, just trying to figure out what exactly happened. Should they be concerned about their children moving forward? We've gotten to hear from the sheriff about that. Now, again, I can tell you that the suspect in this case, the student that they're talking about, they said did die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So no active shooter at this point in time. You're taking a look there at an article from our sister station, who has been really instrumental in keeping us up to date on the comings and goings of this story. The school was placed on lockdown earlier today. If you were streaming with us from the noon to 2 o'clock hour with my colleague Jen, you got to see this happening like in real time. The choppers were flying around as the kids were getting out of the school. We heard kids were being brought to another school where parents could then come and get them. You had to sign your child out, though. It was a very, very tense situation that we have now learned has come to an end. But the big question is, how did the student get the gun into school? What was the motive with that shooting? Was it random? Was it targeted? We don't have that information just yet. The sheriff's office do say this is an ongoing, very much so active investigation. So as we continue to learn a lot more here in Philadelphia, we'll try to bring you the latest. Of course, school shootings, something no one wants to hear about. Unfortunately, we're seeing them happening. I don't know if it's at a bigger pace, a faster pace, but we are seeing them, so it is important that when we do get that information, we get it to you. All right, bringing it back a little closer to home. Earlier this morning, really overnight, we heard that there was a shooting and an illegal pop-up hookah party. So first of all, let's walk through that. What in the world is that? They say it was a lounge that wasn't supposed to have maybe either people there, or maybe they just weren't supposed to be smoking hookah. That wasn't supposed to be something that could be offered to patrons. So they're saying it was an illegal spot for people to be hanging out. And it just so happened to be near Temple University. Some student housing was actually within that complex. You're taking a look at some of the video there where you can see glass shattered, windows shot out. So 2 people were hurt in this incident. Luckily, we're not hearing about any deaths or anything like that. That is probably the silver lining in the story that I have for you. But again, was an unauthorized pop-up party out there, again, beneath Temple student housing that happened overnight on Sunday. A 48-year-old was shot multiple times throughout their body. A 28-year-old man was also shot in the chest and the leg. We heard the 48-year-old is in critical condition. The 28-year-old seems to be recovering. That's all according to the police. We don't have a motive on that shooting just yet either, but it is a very big story that we have been paying attention to and trying to get you up to date on as well. And last but not least, out in Atlantic City, this is New Jersey area we're talking about here, a man has been charged with aggravated manslaughter. They say that he killed his own daughter. And get this, you guys, that little girl, she was 3 months old. So the suspect that we're talking about here is 27-year-old Antonio Reyes. According to the article, the press release that we were given, it doesn't say exactly how that little girl died, but we do know that November 12th, 2025, police were called to the Reyes home. They got a 911 call regarding that unresponsive infant. When they got there, they found the little girl, rushed her to the hospital, but unfortunately they say she suffered such severe injuries that she didn't make it. And as I'm reading a little further, we do have some information that it seems to be those injuries the result of blunt force trauma to her head and to her neck. And so the incident is being investigated by the Atlantic City Police Department. They're going to keep looking into this, getting us more information on this. They do want everyone to know, though, they want to specify that these charges, they're just accusations. Everyone deserves to have their day in court where they can prove themselves, see if a jury, if they have a jury trial, or maybe a judge will be sitting there, a bench trial, that someone will be able to listen into the details of the case and make their own determination of whether or not someone is guilty of the crimes that they're being accused of. So, you know, I did want to put that disclaimer out there, but the father who is facing these charges, 27-year-old Antonio Reyes from Atlantic City. So that's the latest on some of the top things that are happening right around our neck of the woods. When we come back, I want to take a look at our weather. Today was a beautiful day. How long will it last? We'll find out with our meteorologist in just a second. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. My name is Judea Murray. I'm so happy to have you all. It has been a gorgeous day here in Philadelphia. I didn't even need my jacket today. I brought it just in case because I come from a place where you never know how the day will end. You start in a tank top, you'll end it in a parka. I want to touch base with our meteorologist, Kathy Orr. Kathy, tell me something good. How long are we expecting this beautiful weather to last?
Oh my gosh, Judea, if you like today, you know how the whole cliche goes, you're going to love tomorrow and you're going to love the next day. It's going to be a really nice couple of days, feeling much more like June than actually late March, early April. And Philadelphia today really felt good, didn't it? There was a little bit of a breeze that put a bit of a chill in the air if you were on the sunny side or the, you could say the perhaps shady side of the street. It made a big difference today. Take a look at these high temperatures. Now, Philadelphia normally around 58, 59 degrees. We made it to 72. That's pretty good for this time of year. Other numbers, Wilmington, Reading, even Atlantic City into Trenton and Allentown all made it into the 70s today. And during the day tomorrow, we're going to go almost 10 degrees warmer than that. Right now, we're in the 60s, some 50s in the Poconos, but really comfortable. 65 in the city, 65 in Wilmington, 66 degrees in Hamilton down the shore. We're in the 50s. If you look at the country as a whole, the whole East Coast is mild, and the central part of the country is downright warm. I mean, Tucson, 86, they were in the 90s today. All of Texas, you see that yellow contour going all the way up into the southern part of South Dakota. Those are mild temperatures for this time of year. On ultimate Doppler, we have a partly cloudy sky. Overnight, southwesterly winds keeping these temperatures up. And during the day tomorrow, winds gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. And that's the only way this time of year that you get these super warm temperatures. It's a southerly wind, and that's why we'll make it to 82 in Philadelphia. Make it to 80 in Dover, 81 in Wilmington, 80 in Pottstown and Westchester, and Allentown, 79 degrees. Down the shore will be cooler. It always is this time of year because of that ocean influence. Ocean water temperatures are only in the 40s. It's going to take months to get those numbers up because the ocean obviously warms up much more slowly than the land temperature. So we'll be cooler down the shore at least until probably May or June. As we look at the chance of rain, you can see tomorrow, really not a big deal. The best chance of rain will come on Wednesday, and then those probabilities pretty much trail off. Still a chance of a shower Thursday and even Saturday, but not as great as when a cold front comes through on Wednesday. Showers, thunderstorms, nothing really severe Wednesday, but just something to take notice of if you're going to be traveling. It could slow you down on Wednesday. We know this is a big travel week with the Easter holiday coming up. So as we go hour by hour in the Fox Futurecast, in and out of showers this week. During the day tomorrow, just looking at a partly cloudy sky, little milky white sky with some high cirrus clouds moving in. By early Wednesday morning, a chance of some showers, but a better chance with a cold front late in the afternoon and into the evening period. You can see even early Thursday morning a few showers. And then as we look at that 7-day forecast, we go 82 Tuesday, April 1st brings some showers and some storms, also 84 degrees. Passover begins at sundown, and if you have any plans to go out, you may be caught in a few showers or storms. By Thursday, it is dramatically cooler. How about 30 degrees cooler? And then we bump back up 20 degrees the next day. I mean, this is just wild. Friday, we're at 74, 82 Saturday. Sunday, Easter Sunday, 80 degrees. That's a huge jump in temperature as well, with, of course, a few showers. Right now, it looks like they come mainly in the afternoon. So if you could get out to services, maybe an Easter egg hunt early, and then the rain moves in. And then a dramatic drop again for what we call Easter Monday on Monday. The temperature only 55. The 10-day trend shows how temperatures are up, down, up, and then get steady next week around 60, which is where we really should be for this time of year. When we look at the weather as far as the planting season, today is the typical day in Philadelphia for the last freeze. But when is the last frost? And if we look at the Lehigh Valley, it's usually up until early May. Elsewhere across the region, Trenton and Wilmington, mid to late April. And for Philadelphia, the last frost is usually mid-April. So Judea, I go by this also, obviously, for the planting season and keeping your winter coat. Keep that winter coat at least through mid-April, just like the last frost, because you're still talking about temperatures in the 30s. You'll still need that coat. So give it a couple of weeks.
Okay. All right. I will take your word for it. There's another question that I want to ask you while I have you, though. You were giving us a preview of what the spring may be like, some of the holidays that are coming up ahead. I just want to ask you, you know, I am new to Philadelphia. What are some of your go-to things to do in the spring or in the summer that would kind of give me that warm welcome, especially if it is a nice day out?
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to take you down the shore because I have a weekly segment, or down the shore we do every Thursday, and we go to a different shore town. So when you go to the beach here, you don't say I'm going to the beach, you say I'm going down the shore.
I'm going
okay?
I'm going down the shore.
You're going
down the shore.
With Kathy Orr. We're going to make it rhyme.
I love it, Kathy.
So that's
I'm
what
looking
we do.
forward to it.
That's what we do, Judea. We go down the shore. That's what we do in the summer.
Got you. I did get my Philly feet wet this past weekend. I went to the Arts Museum. I felt like that was something that I had to do, but that was because it was pretty cold outside. So,
have you had your first cheesesteak yet?
I did when I looked for my place here in Philadelphia, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not gonna say where I got it from because it wasn't that good.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't that good. The fries were phenomenal. Drinks were great. But I'm definitely 100% taking suggestions from anyone in this office or any of you guys out there on our live stream.
Okay.
If you want to tell me where I need to go. So Kathy, let me know.
Okay, I'm going to have to make a delivery for you because you're going to be streaming at night. So I'll bring you in some cheesesteaks. Yeah, I'll take care of you. When it comes to food, I'm your girl.
I love it here. All right, thank you so much for giving us a look at what the forecast is like, especially for this weekend ahead. It is Easter Sunday. You guys, a little bit of rain might not hurt. It may hurt your hairstyle for the holiday, though. All right, still ahead, we got to touch base with some of our reporters out there who have been covering some very important stories from us. I know Shawnette Wilson, while we're talking about history, I mentioned the Art Museum. There's one thing that you have to do when you talk about a place like Philadelphia that has so much culture, so much history. I think it's really important to talk about the leading ladies who have gotten us this far. And so, Shawnette, I understand that you went out and you found a pretty cool, I don't want to give it away, so I'm going to let you take over. Tell us exactly what was going on today.
All right, so we're getting, Judea, an early look at something big and new that's going to be happening in our city next month. It's called the Legacy Line Trolley Tour, and what it is a trolley tour to celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of Black women here in Philadelphia, but not just their contributions locally, but to our country, especially as we look at the 250th birthday coming up this summer. So how this works is it is actually a trolley tour. So you get a ticket, you hop on this tour, and they are going to make stops all around the city. So there are two legs to this tour. You can take the Center City tour, or you can take the Germantown tour. Each one will make 7 stops, and they're going to take you past all of these historic places in our city that have ties to very influential Black women. Some of them you'll get to hop off and go inside. Like earlier today, we were at the Marian Anderson House Museum in South Philly. So that is one that you can actually go inside and basically look at this exhibit of her career, her life, and all that she accomplished here being from Philly and in our city. Other places you'll get to, maybe drive by, or you can get out and read the history on an historic marker. So it is very interactive as you can hop on and off of the trolley. So there's a woman whose name is Jasmine Sessoms, and she is the founder and president of Center 1968, which actually is a nonprofit that focuses on civic engagement. And she told me earlier today that she came up with this idea for the tour because one Black History Month, not this past one, but she'd been talking to her 2 daughters about what they were learning in school, and decided that people know all of the big names, but there are certainly some history, some women that we don't know a lot about. And she said, I want to start this trolley tour. So here's what she shared with me earlier today.
It's just so important, especially with 250th celebration coming, that we honor those that really did build Philadelphia, not just Philadelphia, but the world, really. I'm hoping that people get to know the known and the unknown heroes, especially Black women here in Philadelphia.
All right, so Judea, she told me that this has been like 2 years in the making, and that her nonprofit, Center 1968, actually did a lot of fundraising to make this happen. And so it actually, tomorrow, they're going to hold a press conference here. I'm outside of Mother Bethel AME Church. This is where the press conference is going to happen, officially announcing this tour. And this church will be the first stop on the tour, which is why they're doing kind of like the unveiling here. But the actual trolley tours will start on April 25th. And as of right now, they will go through early June unless they get more funding, and then they can extend it for some time to come. So like I said, you can sign up for the Center City version, you can do Germantown, or you can do both, right? They're going to serve food, they'll have beverages on the trolley, and so it's really cool that this is going to be happening very soon. So that's kind of what the deal is here. Some of the other stops that I can think of, there's the Colored Girls Museum that they're going to do, the Lest We Not Forget Museum they're also going to tour. So just a lot of different things, and focusing on the contributions, again, of Black women. Like we hear a lot about, the men who have done things, but for example, Richard Allen is, who comes to mind when we talk about Mother Bethel AME, but there was also his second wife who did a lot with educating slaves on how to read and how to write. And, they say that she, was very, not talked about as much. So these are some of the figures that we're going to learn about as you take this tour. So we've got information on our website because they debuted it on Good Day Philadelphia this morning. So you can go to fox29.com and find out how you can get your ticket, when you can go. The tours will only be on Saturdays. So, sign up as soon as you can.
I have a feeling that those are going to fill up pretty soon. And I did hear about the Colored Girls Museum. A good girlfriend of mine, her mom said I absolutely have to go. So that's on my list already. I'm glad you mentioned it.
It is.
You mentioned there will be a press conference tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that.
It's the transmission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit of delay, you guys, but it is what it is. This is live streaming. But you mentioned the press conference. You told us it was going to be tomorrow, and you told us where, but I didn't catch the time.
So the press conference, I believe, is at 10 a.m. I'm sure we'll be, here to cover it since, we were given this opportunity to unveil it before everyone else. But the press conference is tomorrow here at Mother Bethel AME in Queen Village at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And again, they picked this location to unveil it because it will be the first stop, when you take the Center City tour, this will be the first stop on that tour. African American Museum, there's so many stops on this tour. So I feel like it could be like a good girls trip. But, we want to let people know, though, Judea, that it's for everybody. Like Jasmine, like I said, the founder and organizer of this, wanted to stress that it's not just for women, it's not just for Black women, it's not just for history buffs. Anyone who is really locked into our city and wants to learn more about, how our city has made a difference, not just locally, but all over, should take this tour. It'll be a lot of fun. And like I said, they're going to have snacks, you can have beverages, they're going to have mimosas, and then also regular beverages for people, who don't want alcohol. But mimosas, right? We fancy. We fancy.
You are wonderful. Now I forgot the question that I had for you.
I'm sorry. But yeah, I think we covered it. Like I said, it's starting April 25th, officially is when the first tour. It'll run through the first week of June, but they hope to be able to extend it. You can go to fox29.com to get information on tickets. 2 tours, Center City, Germantown will take you to different places. So you've got choices, and like I said, you can do both. They said that the trolleys, Judea, hold 30 people each, and that each tour will be like an hour and a half. So, we have the ability to reach a lot of people who will come through our city during this time and hopefully, sign up for the tour.
Okay. And I mean, I am just looking at the dates, the way that all of this pans out. Okay. So first, if you guys go on the trolley, you can do that up until early June. From early June, then FIFA World Cup will be here. From that, then it would America 250th. There are just going to be so many things happening around town, a lot of different ways for you to just meet new people, embrace the culture here, learn a little bit more. This sounds perfect for me to get to know Philadelphia as I transition to being a full resident here.
And that's why that's why they're hoping that, they will be able to get more funding to extend it because, as it stands right now, the funding that they have is going to carry it through June. But, we would love it to go through July and beyond when, our city is hosting all of these big events, coming up. So hopefully it will continue. I have a feeling you're going to let me go soon. So I just wanted to tell you, welcome to Fox 29. Excited to have you here. So welcome.
I appreciate that so much. You guys out there streaming with us, if you are new to this, first of all, my name is Judea Murray. I am coming here from Fox 5 Atlanta. Shawnette, thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't clear you.
You are?
Yes, yeah.
You are?
I'm coming
Fox
from
5 Atlanta? Okay, so we have to chat after this later because I worked on the assignment desk there when I was in between on-air jobs long time ago. so we'll chat about that when I see you in person.
Bio, so yes, we will have to chat. Thank you for bringing this to us. Very special story there. As I was mentioning to you guys, who you may be new and you don't know who I am, trying to figure out where exactly Bill Anderson is because this is normally his time slot. Yes, my name is Judea Murray. I'm coming here from Fox 5 Atlanta, but I'm a native New Yorker from upstate New York. So I'm not at all a stranger to the cold weather. Honestly, it's kind of like I'm coming back home. I just haven't been up this way in maybe five or so years. I also spent some time in New York City, so there may be some of you, especially those who are our New Jersey audience, or maybe even some people in the Westchester area who may just so happen to watch. You may also recognize me. I worked for a local news station for a lot of years. I had a feel-good news only program, so that was my claim to fame. And then I made my way to Atlanta, and now I'm back up this way. So it has been a whirlwind in my career, figuring things out next, but keeping us on task with what we're talking about next. Coming up, we've got another one of our big stories. I don't know that you guys heard about this, but we'll get into it when we come back. back to Philadelphia Live. My name is Judea Murray. This is a big story on social media. Maybe for some of you who may live in the mainland area, I don't know if you've heard this saying before. They say you're really lucky if your trip makes it out the group chat. They also say that you find out who your real friends are when you're on a trip, and maybe that's what happened here, question mark. I want to check in with our Jeff, who's been reporting on this story where we heard there was some sort of trip, and then all of a sudden a coach decides he's out of a job. So fill in the blanks for us, Jeff.
Yeah, that's right. Down the shore at Mainland Regional High School in Linwood, New Jersey, just outside of Margate, their baseball coach and the baseball team thrown a big-time curveball just one game into the season. Their coach, Joe Smith, abruptly resigned over the weekend along with another volunteer coach. Now, sources tell Fox 29, a source close to the situation tells us this all stems from a recent team trip. There was an incident while the team was away for one of their preseason games, and the coach as well as the volunteer coach left the team. They went to an off-site location, which some may deem an inappropriate location. And sure enough, we have heard that some people were upset by it, others were not. In any event, the coach, who's a very respected and one of the winningest high school baseball coaches in all of South Jersey, resigned over the weekend. And again, a volunteer coach was removed from the program. So we spent the day down the shore in Linwood, New Jersey. We talked to the baseball team as they were getting set to play Hamilton today. It's only their second game of the season. And some players say they were a little shaken by this and just the abruptness. Some didn't necessarily know exactly what had happened. But in any event, their coach, Joe Smith, is no longer the coach. Their athletic director, Billy Kern, will take over on an interim basis. The school is not divulging many details, but again, Fox 29 was told by a source close to the situation that the coach and a volunteer coach left the team and they went to a location that some may deem as inappropriate.
I mean, that makes your mind go places, but I don't want to speculate because we don't have those facts just yet. You were going to hear from some of your close sources. I don't know if you spoke directly to family, parents who were willing to give you a little more information, but if so, is there anything else you can give us?
Yeah, so none of the parents wanted to go on camera, and some just said to us that they felt that some said it's not that big of a deal to them. Others said that they're upset the way maybe some of this was handled. But in any event, we did talk to the interim coach, who is also the athletic director, Billy Kern, today. He describes it as an unfortunate situation. The school district did release a statement, again, not divulging many details. And we did talk to one of their star senior baseball players who did say that he feels like they're a little shaken up by this, but they're going to get through this coming together. And they had multiple team meetings today. And they also, the school district administrators also spoke to those parents to address any concerns that they had. But what they're trying to do is really, as a team, to come together and just move this thing forward.
You said this had happened after just game 2, right?
No, this happened during the preseason. Well, the team speeches and the team meetings happened before their second game of the season today. But the alleged incident and the allegations occurred during the preseason when they took a team trip down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Okay, understood. It's just stuff is really starting to hit the fan now. I get it now. You're going to be bringing us more information during which shows tonight, just in case somebody wants to make sure that they're watching later on.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have an update tonight and the full story tonight on Fox 29 News at 10 and 11. We'll hear from the coach, as well as he's also the athletic director, and we'll hear from one of the star players on the team to describe the situation and what may not have been said during team meetings and meetings with parents today as well. As I said, administrators did speak to the concerned parents today before their game against Hamilton.
All right. Well, we look forward to see what developments you're able to bring us. Again, I know this is a big talker for the people who live there in that town. Yes, some of those players said that they're hoping to just move past this, but I know that there are some parents and whatnot that got some thoughts. I could just imagine. Jeff, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that story.
All right. Great to see you.
All right, y'all, still ahead. Do you remember, it was not too long ago out in Michigan, there was an attack on a synagogue. Well, you know, we are coming up on Easter. There's a lot more conversation about what's happening there. We'll be touching base on a new press conference that we've gotten from officials on what happened at that attack at that temple. We'll have more on that when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. My name is Judea Murray. Maybe you remember, it wasn't too long ago, where we learned that there was some sort of attack at a temple out in Michigan. It's actually called Temple Israel. Well, now officials are officially calling this an act of terrorism. They actually say that this was Hezbollah inspired. You're seeing some video from that incident when we first got information that it happened. They say that a man drove his vehicle into that synagogue and apparently had firearms, ammunition, gasoline, all with him, planning to make this a bigger attack. He turned the gun on himself and shot himself during this incident. Now, the FBI talked earlier today, and they gave us some more information on why they're calling this an act of terrorism. What exactly changed in the last few days?
During the morning and early morning of March 10th, he continued his online searches with specific search terms and phrases such as the largest gathering of Israelis in Michigan, Orthodox synagogues, Israelis near me, what time is the Trump rally in Michigan, as well as a center affiliated with the Israeli embassy in Michigan. He later attempted to try and delete these queries, but we were able to recover them. At approximately 1 p.m. on March 10th, the assailant visited a local shooting range and practiced shooting his new weapon. He then drove to the local fireworks vendor that he researched at approximately 2 p.m. and purchased over $2,200 of fireworks. After leaving that local fireworks vendor, he continued reviewing web pages related to Temple Israel, its clergy, and its upcoming events. On March 11th, the day before the attack, in the early morning, he began adding photos to a Facebook photo album that he entitled Vengeance. And he started including images such as the late Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini, as well as the late Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah. With there in the right, in Arabic, it says, "Burn their world, for we have a vendetta against them that we will never forget." Throughout that morning on the 11th, he continued to post photos of his deceased brothers, niece, and nephew, and exchanged some messages with his family. However, at approximately 2:22 p.m., the delivery of his 45.3-gallon collapsible water containers arrived. And from 2:45 onward, we see him begin planning and organizing his truck. And he goes to get gas 4 different times so that he can fill up his containers without alerting too much suspicion. By 10:50 p.m., he makes his final run to a gas station and purchases 2 torch lighters, which we believe he used to light his truck on fire. Throughout the same afternoon, while he's organizing his truck and going to gas stations, the assailant continued reviewing web pages for Temple Israel and its upcoming events. And by 6:30, he continued posting pro-Hezbollah propaganda, as well as videos of his brother, and watching a video about how Israel is the most violent country in the world. Next slide. This is just an example of some of the posts that he was posting during the afternoon of the 11th. On the left is a statement issued by the Islamic Resistance of Hezbollah about the beginning of a military operation on March 11th called El-As El-Makul, which is a term used in the Quran where it refers to the destruction of the enemy and turning the enemy into withered, dead leaves. In the bottom left of that photo on the left, you can see 2 logos. One is for the military media of the Islamic Resistance, and the second logo is for Lebanese Hezbollah. On the right is a meme with the actual verse from the Quran in the Al-Fil chapter where it describes destroying the enemy and turning them into dead and withered leaves. At approximately 9:40 p.m., before he went to his last round of gas, he did one final search for what time is lunch at Temple Israel, and later deleted that query as well. On the morning of the attack, early in the morning hours, he posted numerous photos to Facebook of his deceased family members, as well as the following comments. Can you go back one? Right there. In the early morning hours, he continued posting on random and various Facebook profiles that said, "We will seek retribution for their sacred blood." Simu, which was a phrase for his brother, "Heaven is fortunate to have you." Israel is a cancerous, malignant growth. Israel is pure evil. And the oppressors will soon know what kind of end they will meet. By 6:56, he searched again online for additional rifle accessories. And by 7:20, he made a Facebook status post that said, "You killed the Ali and Hussein of our time. We will avenge their blood." He also posted additional comments to various Facebook threads and added additional photos to his Vengeance profile photo album in Facebook. From 8:45 to 9:52 that morning, before he left, the assailant visited the web pages again of a local firearms vendor, sporting goods store, and searched for a double magazine holster. But at approximately 9:18 a.m., the assailant departed for Temple Israel and arrived, as we all know, at approximately 9:58 a.m. At 10:01, he sends his sister a picture of a receipt that says $2,000 to Dad. And by 10:12, as he's sitting in the parking lot, he posts 4 videos, which were taken as he was driving to Temple Israel that morning. In the background of these videos, which I'm just providing screenshots of, are Arabic anthems playing in the background that have the themes of resistance and military defiance and impending dawn. By 10:13, right after those 4 videos were posted, he posts this photo to his Vengeance photo album, that there's no need to learn Hebrew anymore. Next slide. And by 10:34 onward, this is where we see a significant amount of his ideology come forward. While he's sitting in the parking lot, he sends his sister overseas 19 videos, photos, and messages that reiterated his intent to commit a mass terrorist attack, as well as affirming his Hezbollah-inspired ideology. These communications included statements expressing a commitment to commit violent action, references to martyrdom, as well as threats to attack what he described as the largest gathering of Israelis in Michigan. I'm going to provide a few of the screenshots. I'm not providing comprehensively everything that we have during this time. First, here is a meme that he sent, the first one he sent to his sister. The translation is, "Jihad is the gateway to heaven, one that God opens to his chosen ones." Next slide. Next photo he sends her in order is a photo with the verse from the Quran overlaid there in yellow. "For such he has written faith in their hearts and strengthened them with the spirit from himself. And he will admit them to the gardens beneath which rivers flow to dwell therein." God will be well pleased with them, and they with him. They are the party of God. Truly, it is the party of God that will achieve felicity. His sister asks him to stop sending these photos, but he continues with a numerous set of videos, and I have a few screenshots. This first video and the screenshot is him sitting in the car with the same upbeat anthem from earlier, and it's called "This People Sends You a Call." And the chant in the background while he's holding the gun praises the south of Lebanon, the Hezb, the fighters, and those who die for the cause. He displays his weapon at the end of the video and says, "We rely on God." In a second video with the same screenshot, he continues with a chant in the background that encourages one to bomb the enemies and bring death upon them. It also encourages listeners to invade and attack enemy fortresses. The next video screenshot, the next video he sends, is him listening to Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem talking, and the Secretary General is saying that the listeners have one of two choices: victory or martyrdom. Qassem praises the Mujahideen in the field for giving the rest of them courage and determination, and the Arabic writing at the top in yellow says, "I remain committed." The bottom video screenshot is a video of him with the upbeat battle song in the background. The song mentions it's time for slaughter and bloodshed, and there's no time to draw back. While he's listening and recording himself driving, he yells, "Allahu Akbar," and then interrupts to declare his total devotion to God, saying that he is answering the call to heaven. Next slide. This photo, which I believe is out in the public, is a text up on the upper part. It's a verse from the Quran that it says, "The believers who are true to what they promised God, some have died for the cause and some are still waiting, but will never change." The bottom caption has the reference from earlier where it says, "Burn or ignite their world, for we have a vengeance or a vendetta that we will never forget." The last meme that I'll show you is a screenshot that he was taking and sent to his sister in the parking lot as well, where he covers up the Israeli flag with the yellow cover paint there and puts the phrase "Party of God" or Hezbollah over the Israeli flag. And yellow is a color often and always used and represent Hezbollah's sense of loyalty and sacrifice. Finally, and most concerning, is approximately 10 minutes before the attack, he sends his sister 2 final videos. In Arabic, he records himself saying with this screenshot, "This is the largest gathering of Israelis in the state of Michigan, in the United States. I have booby-trapped the car. I will forcibly enter and start shooting them. God willing, I will kill as many of them as I possibly can." He sends a quick 3-second video with the same screenshot shortly after and types the message, "A special operation." In between these videos and photos, the assailant exchanged 5 short phone calls with his ex-wife, who called Dearborn Heights, the police department, requesting that they do a welfare check on her ex-husband. And at 12:19, as we all know, the assailant drove his vehicle ramming into the doors of door 5, and he hit it twice. Tried once to hit it, had to reposition his truck, and then came in at a high rate of speed, going about 200 feet down the hallway. Between 12:20 and 12:22, the assailant and Temple Israel security guards exchanged gunfire before we see that the assailant appears to set off the fireworks from the interior of his vehicle at approximately 12:22. By 12:30, the vehicle is on fire and the hallway is full of smoke. We are very grateful that aside from the assailant, there were no additional fatalities. However, this evidence makes very clear the attacker intended to cause significant amounts of harm to the members and the children present at Temple Israel that day. At this stage of the investigation, we've continued to find no evidence of co-conspirators, nor do we have information that indicates a current and active threat to the community at this time. I also want to address a few points that have drawn some public attention. Despite what has been in the reporting in the media, at the time of this incident, the assailant was not the subject of or referenced in any prior FBI investigation, nor was he on the terrorist watch list. There was no evidence that he previously visited or conducted pre-physical surveillance or pre-attack surveillance at Temple Israel prior to the attack. There were no additional improvise explosive devices besides the fireworks that we have described in the vehicle other than what we've already put out. And based upon the size of the water containers, we now assess that the subject used approximately 35 gallons of gasoline, not just the 20 to 30 that I had previously stated, in attempts to enhance his fireworks to set off the vehicle. Finally, I want to extend a deep thanks to my federal, state, and local partners, as well as the Jewish community organizations that have worked with us throughout this response. Their partnership has been and continues to be essential to our investigative efforts, as well as our shared mission to keep the Jewish community safe from any future threats. Thank you, and I'll now turn it over to the U.S. Attorney for the East.
All right, so you guys are listening into that very disturbing press conference. She went over so many of the details, really all of them actually, that led up to that attack that we know of at the Temple Israel. Some of the things that she said there, honestly, I don't want to repeat, but we have plenty of articles up on this on our website, just in case you missed anything and you want to go back. But one thing that I did find very interesting toward the end of her remarks, and by the way, that was Jennifer Runyon, the FBI Detroit special agent in charge, talking. Toward the end of her remarks, she mentioned that this guy actually hadn't been on a list for the FBI. They hadn't been watching him or paying attention to him. And so there wasn't necessarily a motive for him in that case then to go out and carry this attack. She made that very clear, and I just find that interesting because I think so many times we think that people are watching us or what it is that we type in on the internet or look up, and you know, maybe they are, but for an instance like this where there were plenty of disturbing things that this man had done days leading up to this attack, he hadn't been on anybody's watch list, according to the FBI. So very interesting stuff there. Again, we do have that article in case you want to go back, rewatch, listen in on anything that was said, or if you need to brush up on any of these details. That's the latest that we've gotten from the FBI on this attack. Again, they are now saying it was Hezbollah inspired, which is very interesting, very important as we continue this conflict that we've been talking about between Iran, U.S., and Israel. All right, still ahead. While we are talking about Iran, the president has issued new threats. We'll be talking about some of the latest that you need to know about the war when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm still thinking about Atlanta. That's where I'm coming from you guys. But now I work here at Fox 29 Philadelphia, bringing you some of the latest stories the biggest headlines, everything that's happening around town that you need to know about. One of the big things that you guys have been asking me in the chat, I know for sure, is about the conflict with Iran. So earlier today, our president, Donald Trump, issued new threats against Iran. He's been talking about this idea that there have been talks. They have been trying to come to an agreement, trying to come to a deal. But he says if they don't move faster, he has every idea, everything possible that he wants to do to cause widespread destruction to their energy resources, including their drinking water. Again, this is all if they do not reach a deal shortly. Iran, meanwhile, has been striking some water and electrical plants around Kuwait, an oil refinery, and Israel has also been under attack. Israel and U.S. have launched their own new wave of strikes against Iran. Again, we are looking at a conflict, a war, if you will, that has no real end in sight. So while that threat did just come today via a social media post, we're not seeing them move any faster than they were before. Now, earlier today as well, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had a press conference, a press briefing, where of course people wanted to ask about what's going on with Iran and what we can expect ahead. Let's listen in to what Caroline Leavitt had to say in response.
There are some concerns the administration is starting to change its position on deportations, border enforcement, possibly asylum policies. What would you say to Americans that are somewhat concerned that the shift has happened?
Sure. Well, while there has, of course, been a change in leadership at the Department of Homeland Security with former Senator, now Secretary Mullen, joining the President's cabinet, I can assure the American people there has not been a change in policy. It has always been the policy of this President and this administration to deport the worst of the worst illegal alien criminals from our communities. That's something I know Secretary Mullen remains wholeheartedly committed to doing. And it's something that is overwhelmingly popular with the American people. And it's something that is necessary to protect our homeland and to prevent deaths of Americans in our country. Just last week, Sheridan Gorman, a young woman in Chicago, was shot and killed on the street walking with her friends outside of her university by an illegal alien from Venezuela who had no right to be here in the first place. And it's despicable that Democrats are currently defunding the department that's responsible for removing illegal aliens like that. And I would also add it's despicable that the lack of coverage of this young woman's case, of her life, and the way that it was tragically cut short. I saw a survey over the weekend that I'd like to bring to all of your attention. This is the media coverage of the case of Sheridan Gorman. You have ABC News has spent 1 minute and 19 seconds between 2 days when this case was first alerted. You have CBS 2 minutes and 1 second. You have NBC 23 seconds spent on the life of a young, beautiful American woman whose life was taken short by an illegal alien who should have never been here in the first place, when we are in the middle of a battle on Capitol Hill with a major political party, the Democrat Party, who wants to defund the agency that is responsible for protecting Americans. I think her life was worth more than 23 seconds on cable television, and I think the people in this room have a responsibility to report on cases like this, because it just exemplifies why the president believes so strongly in deporting illegal aliens from our communities. And thank you for the question. Dasha, go ahead.
Caroline, I have two questions, one on Iran and one on DHS funding. On Iran, the president has said that the administration is talking to a new and more reasonable regime. How confident are you that they are legitimate and have enough grip on power? Marco Rubio said earlier that he's not sure and it's not clear whether they will be in power. So are you also talking to other factions? As a president is trying to make a deal, how do you ensure that you're making a deal with the people who can actually implement it?
Well, that's part of the ongoing process that's taking place and the ongoing negotiations. Of course, anything that they say to us privately will be tested, and we will ensure that they are being held accountable to their word. And if they are not, the president has laid out the military consequences that the Iranian regime will see if they don't hold true to the words that we are hearing privately behind the scenes. When the president says more reasonable, again, these folks are appearing more reasonable behind the scenes privately in these conversations than perhaps some of the previous leaders who are now no longer on planet Earth because they lied to the United States and they strung us along in negotiations, and that was unacceptable to the president, which is why many of the previous leaders were killed. So again, this is another historic opportunity for Iran to do the right thing, to rid themselves of their nuclear ambitions and to come to a deal with this president and the administration. or again, they will see the grave consequences of the United States Armed Forces, which they are continuing to see every day throughout this operation.
On DHS, how long can the administration keep paying TSA without action from Congress? And not to be hyperbolic, but given the airports were really the pain point that was pushing both sides to talk to each other. I mean, do you see a way for DHS to reopen? Is it possible that this keeps going through the midterms?
Well, we certainly hope so. I mean, of course, the president just can't keep signing presidential memorandums and proclamations every time Congress fails to do its job, and every time Democrats are holding our entire country hostage, picking and choosing which programs and agencies they want to fund just because they don't like this administration's policies. That's not how it's supposed to work. They voted 7 times against funding DHS over partisan and political reasons. And so, again, the president has stepped in to do the right thing at this moment in time, but the president is also encouraging Congress to come back to Washington to permanently fix this problem and to fund and reopen the Department of Homeland Security entirely.
Caroline.
Stephen.
Thank you, Caroline. 2 questions, one on TSA, one on Iran. On TSA, for ordinary Americans watching the briefing, how long until everything goes back to normal at airports after the president's
There are some concerns the administration is starting to change its position on deportations, border enforcement, possibly asylum policies. What would you say to Americans that are somewhat concerned that the shift has happened?
Sure. Well, while there has, of course, been a change in leadership at the Department of Homeland Security, with former Senator, now Secretary Mullen, joining the president's cabinet, I can assure the American people there has not been a change in policy. It has always been the policy of this president and this administration to deport the worst of the worst illegal alien criminals from our communities. That's something I know Secretary Mullen remains wholeheartedly committed to doing, and it's something that is overwhelming.
So before you guys listen to this again, we had a quick little blip. We're going to go to break real quick. When we come back, there's a lot of more things that I want to talk to you about, including some of our trending stories. I want to get back to you on our question of the day, and then of course we'll be talking about some of the fun things that you can do around town. So we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. A lot of big things happening tonight. First, I want to get you a live look at the spacecraft where they're going to be carrying 4 astronauts who will be making their way to the moon. We haven't done this, you guys, since I think it was like 1972, and there are a lot of firsts on this ship. It'll be going out into the galaxy, I guess you could say, to make that trip around the moon, hopefully on Wednesday. It's supposed to happen around 6:24 Eastern Standard Time. They have a 2-hour window, so it's possible that you guys could see them launch right here live on Philadelphia Live. That would be so cool. So fingers crossed for me. I know that's something that I'm looking forward to. All right, gotta bring you guys some bad news. I was keeping up to date on the sports scores, and not too long ago, the Philadelphia 76ers did post their final score to Twitter. It looks like they lost by 10 points, 109 to 119 from the Miami Heat. Fought tooth and nail because, I mean, they did make it up to the triple digits. It wasn't a mercy game, I'll say that much, but we were hoping for a better score. It is what it is, you guys, though. All right. On to the Phillies, because they were also playing tonight. Unfortunately, they also lost. They lost to the Washington Nationals, who pulled in 13 points to their 2 points. We're taking a live look at Citizens Bank Park right now. Again, not what we wanted to hear, but we did start the season off strong. So, I mean, I think I speak for everyone when I'm saying that I hope we come back to this and come back around, come back from this. We got plenty more games to go. All right, with that being said, I want to get you guys a look at our question of the day, or really question of the night. We wanted to know how you guys feel about Meta glasses, those AI glasses, because we heard that today is going to be the starting new thing at every courthouse here in Philadelphia. You cannot wear Meta glasses inside. They say it's a safety concern, but I wanted to know how you guys felt. So bringing in someone from our digital team, guys, meet Jake Leonard.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me again.
Of course.
So basically, the poll hasn't changed much throughout the night. It's still yes in last place, but it has gone up to 20%. So
Okay.
last time I checked, it was no was at 60%, yes was at 20%, and other was at no was at 20%. So basically, other people were just like leaving comments. Yes, the people were saying I think it's good for content, bad for privacy, kind of like what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat when it comes to this.
You know, it's ridiculous, but technology is expanding. The new things are coming.
Yes.
A lot of people love this for content,
Yes.
but you guys can get in trouble.
Yes,
So,
it is scary.
yeah, it is. Because, I mean, imagine somebody just walking past you, and now you are on somebody's meme.
I
and
know,
somebody-
you have no idea. Like, I feel like I can't trip, I can't fall, I can't do anything stupid, or else it's going to end up going viral on TikTok.
And that's what it is. Well, Jake, thank you so much for bringing us
Thank
everything
you.
that's trending. Let the people know where they can follow you if they want to keep up to date with you.
I'm Instagram_Jake Leo.
Okay. And then, of course, make sure you follow us, Fox 29.
Yes.
Fox Philadelphia, on everything, every platform you have out there. This has been great. This has been great.
Congratulations on making it through your first show. You did amazing, and I'm so
Thank
excited
you.
to work with you.
Thank you. Yes, it's going to be a great road ahead. We got a lot of work to do.
I'm excited.
All right, you guys out there, thank you for trusting me with your top news of the day, weather, sports, all of that. Remember, we are learning together. This is an interactive show. This is Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray, and I hope to see you tomorrow night.